Dear Giants, all is forgiven. Love KNBR. How's that, buddy? That's my love letter to last night. Marcus, all is forgiven, buddy. All is forgiven. Everything we said yesterday, out the window. All love, baby. What a night.
From one ninth-inning disaster to one ninth-inning miracle. Luis Matos down to the final strike of the game. Gets a base knock. Takes second base on an E7 by Brian Reynolds.
Say that again.
All before.
Say that again.
Luis Matos gets a base knock. Takes second base.
Yes.
Right in the face of Brian Reynolds.
Luis Matos.
And then look who shows up. After late night Luis gets on base, it's late night Lamont driving him in, and we got a tie ball game.
Which we have to tell you guys, at any second now, you're going to get early morning Lamont because the Giants were like, hey, man, we got an early game, and we ain't lying. We're doing pregame at 8:35 today, guys. So this is an abbreviated M&M show, and the Giants are getting off the bus in Pittsburgh right now after sleep. They always say this after a night game, early game, sleep fast is what they tell you. And they said they'll get us Lamont Wade, and they said, bro, he's coming in at 6, so it's 6:01, so any minute now. Early morning Lamont from Pittsburgh, who, by the way, reached base 6 times yesterday. First player in baseball this year to reach base 6 times in one game. Marcus, you want a little tidy OBP on base percentage?
Give it to me.
You ready for it? 484, bro. And he's going to get on base right now because he's calling us right now. Bro, 484. Yeah. Ted Williams called. He wants his on-base percentage. Barry Bonds called. He wants his on-base percentage back.
I mean, that's the thing. When you look at the Giants' recent history of guys who got 3 hits and 3 walks in the game, the last guy to do it was Lamont Wade Jr., but before that, it was Barry Bonds.
Yeah, man. So, connection made, early morning style. What a night. It seems like it was just a moment ago that the Giants pulled off the win of the year, coming back from 5-0 down to get a 9-5 win. Now he's on the bus, getting ready for another one before flying to New York. It's Lamont Wade Jr. Lamont, a real pleasure to have you on bright and early here on the Murph and Marcus Show. Brian Murphy, Marcus Boucher. How's Pittsburgh this fine Thursday morning?
Hey, morning, Lamont.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me. It's good. You know, the sun's out, some great weather. I'm at the field right now watching the grounds crew get the field ready for today. It's a good day.
Man, there's a certain romance to that there, buddy. Hey, so you have to just take us through the last, 9-10 hours? I guess when your head hit the pillow last night, what was your thought about what had just happened in that ballgame?
Oh man, you know that this team never gives up, and that it's really that we have a really exciting team. That's like you said, it's a quick turnaround. We're back here already at the park, get ready for this 12:35 game. But just trying to take that momentum into today and build off of what we did yesterday as an offense and as a defense, and come out here today and try and get a win.
And Lamont, that really is the beautiful part of baseball. There's always a game the next day. So talk to us about the highs and lows of losing a game in the 9th inning a couple nights ago versus winning it last night.
Yeah, it's all about that short-term memory. I mean, it's 162 games. You don't have time to put too much stock into one game or one loss or one win. You got to get back, and you got to get back to your routine and do it all over again the next day. So it's not easy, but you just got to flush it and come back knowing that you have an opportunity to right the ship the next day and completely change the momentum and the way your season's going.
You guys did the ultimate flush job from that Monday to Tuesday because then you're down 5-0 too in this game and not feeling too good. But now, Lamont, we got to jump to the 9th inning because you guys have chipped away and you've chipped away. Chappie hits the homer. Soler gets a couple RBIs. It's a 5-4 ball game, and Matos is up with 2 outs and nobody on. You're in the on-deck circle. Can you take us through what you saw from that point on? Just, how Matos handled his at-bat, how you saw him taking second. Take us through from the on-deck circle up through your at-bat.
Yeah, I mean, Matos has been impressive, ever since he's gotten up here. He never gives away at-bats. He's always in at-bats. He was fighting that whole at-bat. And for him to put the barrel on the ball right there and have a heads-up base running play, that's the reason why we were able to tie the game, honestly. If not, we don't know where that game's at. So his hustle double by him getting to second base was huge and allowed us to be able to tie up the game and eventually break it open there in the 10th. And hats off to him. He's been playing great on both sides of the ball. I mean, his energy is contagious, and, it's really fun to watch him play.
And then we've asked you this since you got the nickname Late Night Lamont about your calm. Bob Melvin had a quote after the game. He's like, that's Lamont. Calm, stays in the moment, goes through his plan. That's, once again, it's time for you to tell us for the 100th time, yeah, that's who I am, right? Tell us about being in that box and staying in the moment there.
Yeah, it's all. I think it's just all about knowing that you just want to put together a good at bat to keep the line moving. It's just any way that you can to get on base, whether it's a walk, whether it's a hit, just anything you can do to keep the line moving and to put the team in a great situation. So you just try and stay within yourself, not get too big, not do too much. Continue to try and own the strike zone and swing at the right pitches and lay off the ones that you can't really do anything with. So. It's just all about staying within your approach and just relaxing and just trying to see it happen.
Lamont Wade Jr., of course, is the voice you hear on the Uma Guest Line this morning. And Lamont, last night, 3 hits, 3 walks, got on base 6 different times. You have the highest on-base percentage in baseball. How confident are you in your approach right now, whether that's seeing pitches or just your knowledge of the strike zone?
I'm pretty confident right now in the strike zone. I feel like I'm seeing the ball well. It's still trying to lay off that high pitch. It's tough, but anytime that you can just put yourself in good hitters' counts, I feel like the more successful you can be. So I'm just trying to come out here and win pitches and get in good counts and just get on base and help the team win and help get on base so the guys can drive me in.
Lamont, you mentioned when you were talking about your approach, how you're trying to keep things simple and short to the ball. I was actually taking a dive into some of these StatCast stats that came out this season, tracking swing rates, and you have one of the shortest swings in baseball. Is that kind of an approach that you've tried to influence into your at-bats this season, and do you think that's why you're having so much success with your batting average?
I think anytime you're short to the ball, the better. I definitely, for myself and my profile, I definitely don't need to get long. Anytime it's long, it's more time, takes more time, and as time as you don't have, all these guys, all these pitchers have great arms, they got great velo, and they got good stuff, so you can't be long. I feel like I need to be short to the ball and give myself a chance. So, it's not something that I'm trying to calculate, but I'm definitely working on trying to be short to the ball for sure.
Well, it's working. You're hitting 336 with a 484 on base, and then, like you said, you're just going to stay in that moment and go through your plan when you get up. We're talking to Lamont Wade Jr., bright and early from Pittsburgh before the Giants get ready for the series finale and then off to New York. What a win last night from 5-0 down to a 9-5 win. What was it like in the clubhouse last night? Was it? I know Brandon Crawford's gone, so there's no more Club Craw. How do you guys celebrate a win like that?
Oh no, we definitely celebrated that win last night. It was definitely chaotic and crazy in the clubhouse. The vibes were really good. Music was loud. Craw was on the DJ when he was here, but now it's a mixture of like Webby and Chappie. So and sometimes Snell gets on there sometimes. So right now it's a little trifecta right now, but the music's been good. So it's been all right. But no, last night we definitely celebrated real good, but we had to get out of there quick. We had a quick turnaround today with this 12:35 game, so we wanted to hurry up, celebrate real quick, and then flush it, and then get some rest and get back today.
Yeah, we won't keep you too much longer. We know you got a routine to get to, but I'm looking at your win-loss record. You guys are 24-26, and you're like, But I'm wondering your description of this team after 50 games, because it's been up, down, sideways. You've had players come and go. Some guys got hurt. Some young kids have come. How would you describe the first 50 games?
I think it's just, just a roller coaster of a season, just like any other season. You're always going to be battling with injuries, and every team that goes through that as well. We're going to have ups and downs at the plate, ups and downs on defense, pitching, but, that's just the name of the game. But I feel like, this group has short-term memory and is able to, just bounce back in a great fashion on all facets of the ball, and I feel like guys are, really sticking to their routines and putting the work in. So, it's just a matter of time before it all clicks, and it's been clicking as of late. We had a good little streak going right there, and then, that win last night. So, I think it's just the nature of the game with this first 50 games. It's just the season, but, it's going to have ups and downs, but we just got to keep riding it out and keep believing in each other and know that we can get it done.
We've also seen Bob Melvin move you up and down in this lineup this season. Lamont, where do you feel most comfortable batting in this lineup?
Honestly, it doesn't really matter to me. Anywhere Bo Mel puts me in the lineup, I feel comfortable. I don't think the approach changes on whether you're batting leadoff or batting fourth. I still want to put together the same at bats, consistent at bats, and owning the strike zone. So I really don't have a preference on where I hit in the lineup. Whoever I just want to just try and make the lineup. So if I make the lineup, I'm in there. I'm happy with that.
And whether that's against a righty or against a lefty, your splits have been phenomenal this year. How confident are you going up there, even in those lefty-lefty matchups like we saw last night against the Royals Chapman?
Yeah, I feel confident. I feel as long as I'm on time, then I can be on time with either lefty or righty. It's just a matter of getting on time with the pitcher and making my move, and just seeing the ball well. If I see the ball well and make my move, I feel like I can hit lefties and righties.
Yeah, it's that approach that's gotten you where you got. Hey, just quickly before I let you go, you got to tell us about the new kids. You mentioned Matos. Just a quick book on Elliot Ramos. You've seen this kid. What can you tell the Giants fans who are listening right now about him?
Oh, he's exciting. He's electric. He had a lot of energy in the clubhouse, on the field, plays the game the right way, hits balls hard. He's got pop to all fields, plays tremendous in the outfield. He's been showing off out there with all the assists, the diving catches and everything like that. So he's just a great all-around ball player. Excited to continue to watch him grow in this game. And he's taking solid at-bats. He's putting the ball hard in play, coming through clutch, just like all the other young guys up here. So he's been fun to watch.
And what's the book on Luciano? I mean, you're 30 years old. He's 22. He's like he comes from a different generation, right?
Yeah, you make me feel old now, but Luciano, and he's a calm guy, which is really cool. You know, he never seems to get no moments too big for him. You know, he's got a cannon of an arm over there, short. He's swinging the bat well right now too, as well. And another guy with a lot of pop, and who's exciting on the base pass. So, and you know, all these young guys that we got have bright futures, and just want to continue to watch them grow and help them any way I can, and just continue to see them have success. So
it's exciting. Hey, speaking of cannon of the arms, and then we'll let you go, but that game, that play that ended that game last night, I mean, Matt Chapman's been doing it his entire career. Now we're seeing it in San Francisco. I know he was in Oakland, but we're Giants fans. That last play in particular, from your view, was that maybe one of one? Have you never seen something like that, have you?
I mean, Joey hit that ball. I don't know how hard he hit it officially, but it looked like he hit it 110. And I'm just looking down the line to see where Ramos was going to get this ball in, and see where I need to back up. And then I just heard it hit a glove, and I see Chapman on the ground and bouncing up, and then next thing you know, he's just throwing a strike to my chest. I was like, oh, I thought that ball was down the line. I've never seen that. He just Gold Glove. You can tell. He's taken away so many hits over there. He has a cannon of an arm, and it's an accurate arm. He's just been fun to watch, and he's putting it on full display right now on defense, but also at the plate too. He's been mashing the ball lately, and it's been really fun to watch at that bat.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but you don't have to work on scoop drills with him. Everything's chest high.
No scoops with him. Everything's right in the chest, and don't need to stretch because he's getting it over there too. He's getting over there real fast. So no, he definitely makes it easy on you over there at first base, which is fine with me. And it's really fun to watch him just swallow up all those hits over there, and just taking away hits. So it's been really fun to watch.
When you catch him, I wonder, you're just smiling over there. They got that big inner smile, right? Like, here, look at that was easy, right?
But I just put the glove to my chest and just close it. I just know it's going to be there every time.
And Lamont, you've played first base now for the Giants, so you've caught balls across the diamond from Matt Chapman, Casey Schmidt, Brandon Crawford. Who has the best arm from across the diamond?
I would honestly say right now probably Chapman. Between Chapman and Casey Schmidt, both of those two have really good arms. And honestly, J.D. Davis had a really good arm as well. I can't leave him out.
Nice.
But for sure right now it's definitely Chapman.
Lamont, man, Giants fans were giddy in the Bay Area last night. I just got to tell you, people were just stopping each other on the street talking about that game last night. So you guys put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces, and we appreciate you hopping on an early morning. So go get him. Just go try to get on base 7 times today, all right?
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, Lamont Wade
Lamont.
Jr. to start the show. We'll be right back on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the Sports Leader.
Oh, that's how you start a show with Late Night Lamont. But yesterday, we had late night Leonard Floyd on the show. Yeah, I don't know if that nickname works, Tony. But anyways, hear what Leonard Floyd's new nickname is and his expectations for the 2024 San Francisco 49ers. All those podcasts and more available on KNBR.com and the KNBR app.
Oh, yeah, hunker down, bite down, hunker down and bite.
This has been the Protect Your Assets with David Hollander Business and Technology Report. Concerned inflation will ruin your dream retirement? Learn more. Listen to David's show every Saturday morning on KNBR or call 1-866-PROTECT.
Doval ready. His 0-2 pitch. Bart swings, hits one hard on the ground to third. Diving Chapman knocks it down, gets up, throws to first. Got him! What a play, Matt Chapman! And this game is over.
I mean, Joey hit that ball. I don't know how hard he hit it officially, but it looked like he hit it 110. And I'm just looking down the line to see where Ramos was going to get this ball in and see where I need to back up. And then I just heard it hit a glove, and I see Chapman on the ground and bouncing up. And then next thing you know, he's just throwing a strike to my chest. I was like, oh, I thought that ball was down the line. I've never seen that. He just Gold Glove. You can tell. He's taken away so many hits over there. He has a can of an arm, and it's an accurate arm. He's just been fun to watch, and he's putting it on full display right now on defense, but also at the plate too.
So what do you want from KNBR? We'll give you the broadcast of the win of the year. Then we'll give you the guy who was at the center of it all right in your breakfast table describing it all. Marcus, I don't, what more can we do for the people? What more can we do for the, thank you, young Tony. Great rejoin. We're doing it all for the people.
I mean, Murph, we've got highlights of late night Lamont, and we got interviews with early morning Lamont.
It's so good.
I mean, what better way to start a Thursday morning?
As Stan Tim checked in on the text line, he said that Lamont Wade Jr. is like a surprise omelet or waffle on the table when one rolls out of bed.
Oh, it's like waking
Delicious chat.
Oh, it's like waking up and smelling bacon in the kitchen. You're like, somebody's cooking bacon this morning.
Can I mix in some coffee in that too?
Oh, when that one guy, when you're on vacation, gets up earlier and starts making that cup of coffee, Murph.
You know, that was my bit. That was my. I'm making. We had that Joe DiBattola. I'm making coffee. You want coffee? That guy that buddy of yours who wakes up early when you got a guy's trip. That one buddy who wakes up early and makes the pot. You're like, oh, dude, you are my guy.
That's Lamont Wade Jr. That's Lamont this morning.
Dude. So much enjoy. Look, thanks to Matt Chisholm and the Giants for making that available. And man, oh man, what a day! Because we were barely digesting the win when we came into work, and then we throw Lamont Wade Jr. on. And if you missed it, well, first of all, sorry you missed it, but good morning to all y'all. And second of all, we'll make that the big hit later today for the later crowd. Young Tony, I want to say good morning to you, buddy, and give you props on that rejoin. That was really good. And you said something to me during that rejoin that I wanted to reiterate. So I got to experience that entire game last night on the radio because I had a Little League game last night. So I had the app going, and then driving home from the game, I got the post-game wrap and heard all the calls. Let me tell you something. Joe Ritzo is killing it. He's killing it. His call, give me the ninth inning call. Dude, the excitement and emotion and description that he puts into his calls, right? This kid is arrow up.
I mean, Ritzo has been my guy since he was calling San Jose Giants games.
And look at your hat today.
I used to sit right next to the broadcast booth and literally hear Joe Ritzo in real time back when the Giants were winning low A West championships back in 2021.
Lamont Wade Jr. was not there because he was with the Twins. But anyways, another Farhan find now. We got to give Farhan all the credit. We kill Farhan when he whiffs.
Are we giving Farhan credit for Joe Ritzo?
Very funny. I loved this call in the ninth inning.
Which one do you want?
I want the game tying hit by Wade. Oh, actually, do you have the double by Matos or the single in the E7?
With 2 strikes and 2 outs in the ninth inning down to your final strike of the game.
He's very, like Matos, there's just something about when you're the great radio broadcasters, and Lon Simmons used to have this too. There's a certain catch in their voice or a certain, okay, you don't have, but you can go back in the skimmer and find it because it sounds great. But we'll hear the Wade hit that ties the game with 2 outs in the ninth, nobody on, Matos single, and it's of all people, Brian Reynolds, who killed him with the granny. Yeah. He's been haunting the Giants for years.
The guy that's making it personal every time he plays the Giants.
He is, and he's a damn good player. But he bobbles it, right? And what a play by Luis Matos to get to second base.
Right in his face. And it was a close play. Luis Matos got in there safely, but I love the hustle out of the box. I love him having the willingness to go and take second base because the reason why that ball fell down is because the Pirates were playing back, trying to prevent a no doubles defense, and Luis Matos said, blanket, I'm going for second.
Did you see Matos' quote after the game? Said he was going to go no matter what?
Hell yeah,
He said,
Louis.
because I knew who was behind me, and I knew he would knock me in.
Dude.
So then here's the call by Lamont Wade telling us about his calm approach. Don't swing at the bad ones. Swing at the good ones. Stay within yourself and do this.
The 1-1. Wade swings. Line drive. Right field. He's got a hit. Over towards the track. Zawinski cuts it off. Rounding third. Matos heading home, and he'll score without a throw. A 2-out RBI single for Lamont Wade Jr. And it's the Giants tonight down to their final out, getting the big hit to tie it in the ninth. It is 5-5.
I tell you, how about the guy? How about that lunatic screaming?
I was going to say, that Giants fan that's on the road at PNC Park, you could hear him the entire broadcast.
You could hear him on TV, too.
Yeah,
You could hear him on TV.
I heard him heckling Joey Bart when Patrick Bailey came at the bat.
Could you hear anything he said, or just?
I heard him. He was like, "Hey, Joey, don't take it personal. Patrick took your job.
Oh, really?
He's a first rounder also." This guy was heckling left and right.
Oh, man. But there's something about the way Ritzo says it. It's the Giants getting it. There's a little in the throat where he's digging at the very end of that call, and it pumped me up. I got to tell you, it pumped me up. So what a fun night. So all is forgiven?
I don't know about that. I mean, there's still 2 games under 500, but it was a huge comeback win, especially when we talked about them blowing the game, that 4-run lead in game 1 of this series, and how it was going to affect them moving forward for the rest of this road trip. Well, yesterday they responded. Yeah. Even after Blake Snell kind of fell apart in the 4th inning, Sean Jelly comes in, gives up a grand slam to Brian Reynolds, and I start thinking to myself, like, oh, no. Here we go again. The Giants are down big early. But this is a lineup that 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, before all these young kids got called up, we would have said the game's over.
Yeah.
No way in hell they're coming back down 4 or 5 runs. But last night, they stayed in the game, and it came down to the final strike of the game, and late night Luis and late night Lamont came through.
Late night Luis, I like it. All right, we got the guest list going here early on a Thursday, 5/23/24, because we got early baseball. Can't wait for it. And we had talked about how you had to win that Tuesday game because now you got to go against Jared Jones and Paul Skenes. Well, they got the Jones game, even though we haven't even mentioned him.
Yeah.
Because we're too excited. We're going to talk on the next segment. We got to talk about Blake Snell.
Yeah.
But young Tony, good morning, brother. How are you, man?
Good morning. How are we?
How'd you process that?
Dude, that was incredible. It was like the loss of the year. I don't want to rank losses. Loss of the year 2 nights ago, win of the year last night.
Yeah, things are happening with this team right now. It's starting to get a lot more interesting. And it comes to Matos, Ramos, and Chapman.
I mean, we're talking about a team that's won 5 out of the last 6 games, and if they didn't have that 9th inning collapse, we'd be talking about a 6-game win streak.
And don't forget the dog-ass manifesto. They have they're like 6-7-3 or something like that since then. Or I'll figure out the numbers, but they're good since the dog-ass manifesto. What do we got, Tone?
All right, so we have a bit of a change here. We're going to replay Lamont at 7:30 because Susan Slusser's got to push back to 7:50. She's in the clubhouse right now.
Okay.
Grinding
50
early.
Cent in the clubhouse.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
We're going in order
hey,
today.
Listen,
Have you noticed?
I'm here for the dad jokes. All right,
Got
I'm
you.
here for the dad
I
jokes.
wasn't expecting a 50 Cent in the clubhouse.
Well, that's it. I'm here to represent the suburban dad.
Yes.
You're doing it well.
I said something yesterday. My kids went nuts. They laughed so hard because I said something like, what is a Sigma? Do you know anything about the Sigma thing or something?
Are we talking about like a fraternity or something?
No. Like the kids are slang now with the kids. And
Sigma?
The kids howled with laughter. And Deca started going, brain rot dad or something like that. They were speaking, it was some language.
Dude, lay off Pops.
But I mean, it was some sort of joke or something about the dad. And I was like, whatever. Just do what you guys got to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Do what you guys, be teenagers.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You do you.
So, all right. So,
All right.
7:30, Lamont Wade.
7:30 Lamont Wade, Susan Slusser at 7:50, so she's going to be the big hit. We're going to get a cooler content in before the end of the show, and then we got Giants Pirates day baseball, first pitch at 9:35. Pregame starts at 8:35.
All right, 530 with a great text on the Golden State. He said that Joe Ritzo call had a little Kentucky Derby feel to it. I loved it. That's a great call, 530. Anyway, I loved it, but the only thing we didn't love, what are we going to do about number 7? Next on the Sports Leader.
And it's the Giants tonight down to their final out.
Daly City, shout out to you for supporting KNBR, Daly City's sports leader.
No ball ready. His 0-2 pitch. Bart swings, hits one hard on the ground to third. Diving Chapman knocks it down, gets up, throws to first. Got him! What a play, Matt Chapman! And this game is over. The Giants in 10 innings beat the Pirates 9-5. 9 unanswered runs. And then a defensive gem over at third from Matt Chapman on a ball that appeared headed for the left field corner. What a win.
Joe Ritzo on fire. Who had a better night last night, the Giants or Joe Ritzo? I was just telling everybody last segment that I happened to get a lot of it on the radio, and I was like, Ritzo, I'm feeling you, bro. His calls were good, and that was a really good call there. What about you, Waterboy, as a baseball head, that final play by Chapman? Too.
I mean, we've been talking about Chapman's defense all year long. In the slow start he had offensively and defensively. But Murph, lately, this guy has been making some phenomenal plays at third base. Plays that we've seen his entire career, but plays we were waiting for in orange and black. And now Matt Chapman is back to being one of the best defensive third basemen in baseball. Like the fact that he even knocked down that ball that was absolutely smoked by Joey Bart down the line. Probably would have scored 2 runs in that situation and kept the inning going, knocks it down, picks it up, and fires a rifle across the diamond.
Yeah, if you missed it,
that right there is vintage.
Lamont Wade Jr. joined us and described that throw. He was like, whoa. But did you just drop a fidget spinner?
I did. I was playing with a fidget
Wait a
spinner.
minute, what is it? Wait, we're going to get into Snell in just a minute here. The fidget spinner, is that like 2012?
I don't know.
2008?
I walked in. There's a fidget spinner in front of me, so I started spinning it.
Okay.
It's not my own personal fidget spinner.
Okay, I didn't know. I was like, I've been working next to you for almost 6 months now. I hadn't seen the fidget spinner as part of your repertoire.
No, actually, Murph, for the last 4.5 years, I've had the fidget spinner in my back pocket. You just never knew about it.
When the fidget spinner was big, were you in?
No, I never got into the fidget spinner.
What about you, Young Tone? Were you a fidget spinner?
I had a couple. And by the way, I will say, I think that's Danny's. He must have left it in the studio, and he will be coming in early to help us out with pregame.
Dan Dunn?
Danny Dunn, yeah.
Shout out Dangerous Danny
Dan Dunn's a fidget spinner kind of guy, huh? All right. Well, listen, it's just an incredible win on so many levels. Also brought to you by this segment brought to you by Marin Health with top physicians, surgeons, and clinicians right here in the North Bay. Marin Health puts you closer to your best health, world-class care, closer than you think. And Larry Bear is going to hop on later this afternoon at 4:50 to take a victory lap for that win last night with Tommy Tolbert. Okay, Blake Snell.
Yeah.
So, again, I like to bring you guys the world through a 16-year-old emotional Giants fan. And I'm at our Little League game. Shout out Jackson on the mound yesterday for the Hum Baby Giants. But I'm following the Giants on my phone because I'm doing the Little League game and checking the Giants. I get a text in the middle of our Little League game from a 16-year-old D. Murph who says, "Is Blake Snell the worst pitcher of all time?"
No.
I was like, well, okay.
He's got 2 Cy Youngs, so I'd say
going.
no.
That's where we're going now. Okay.
I'd say the answer is no.
So I'll tell you this. I got in the car and I was driving down to early hitting, and I heard him go full count on 2 of the first 3 hitters. And I was like, here we go. Can you attack? A lot of nibbles, a lot of pitches, and he's gone after 3 1/3. Okay? So that's mine. But you, Waterboy, hinted to me you have a hot take on this?
Yeah, and I know I'm about to get flamed on the Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line. But yesterday, I was actually encouraged by Blake Snell's start. And I know that sounds like blasphemy. The results obviously weren't there. 3 1/3 innings, gets charged with 4 runs after he leaves the game with the bases loaded after plunking Andrew McCutchen. Of course, Sean Jelly gives up the big grand slam, but most of those runs are charged to Blake Snell. But I'm not looking at the box score, Murph. I'm using my analytics. And what I saw from Blake Snell yesterday, his velo was back up to 95, 96. His curve looked a lot sharper. His pitches looked better than the first couple of outings we saw. And Murph, here's the good news. He lowered his ERA from 11.52 to 11.40. His ERA went down yesterday, and the Giants finally won a Blake Snell start.
If anything ever demanded a Farhan laugh track, once again, I want you to say that line again, and please give me the Farhan here.
Yes, Blake Snell yesterday with his fantastic outing lowered his ERA from 11.52 to 11.40. We're going in the right direction, baby.
Okay, so
we're going in the right direction.
Two things I'm going to say. One, to counter you, and one, to crazily enough support you. Do you recall that before he went on the IL with the adductor strain, do you recall my story from the Friday night when he was pitching? And I, too, was supporting Snell to a heckler behind me. Snell, you're terrible. And I was like, no, stuff looks better. And I was like, look at the stuff. Look at the, he's had some bad luck. And the guy was like, maybe, I don't know. I still want better results. I'm like, I feel you, but I'm like, he's better. Okay, so I, too, have been in your shoes.
Ooh.
I have been a Snell defender. That said, we also said yesterday, what's the over-under on innings? Yeah. We wanted 5.
Yeah, we wanted 4.
Your prize pick,
we wanted 4 2/3. No.
He went 3 1/3.
Yeah.
He went 3 1/3. Here's the problem. And I know we knew this coming in, so I'm not breaking news, but when it is in your face, it feels different. 4 walks, brother.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You say no free night. You get mad at 1 free night.
Exactly.
How do you feel about 2, 3, and 4 in 3 1/3? And, oh, by the way, a hit by pitch. That's 5 free 90s.
Well, again, if you're just looking at the box score and you see that 4th inning, it looks disastrous because, of course, it was a leadoff walk to O'Neal Cruz. Threw a 3-0 slider, by the way. Not really a big fan of piping in a 3-0 slider when you're having trouble finding the strike zone to begin with. Then there was a little infield single by Joey Bart, walks Michael A. Taylor, and then hits
that's it right there, walks
Andrew
Michael A.
McCutchen.
Taylor.
So that's 2 walks and a hit by pitch all in the same inning, which, of course, is frustrating as hell as a former pitcher to see. So, again, he's not locating like he needs to.
Yes.
But it seems like the stuff is there, and I don't want to use this as an excuse. Blake Snell was talking about how he had a blister on his foot after the 2nd inning.
How about that?
Maybe that affected him a little bit. Still, you got to throw more strikes. You can't be putting guys on like this. But it's not like people were squaring him up and hitting him out of the ballpark.
No.
Still had, 5 or 6 strikeouts yesterday?
No. That's not the issue.
It's the swing and miss stuff is there.
That's for sure.
The problem is just not being as competitive in the strike zone.
And he's going to, so 2 things equally true. Mm-hmm. He's got swing and miss stuff for sure. And he struck out 5 in 3 1/3. So out of his 10 outs, 5 were strikeouts. Mm-hmm. But, man, oh man, you start longing for a guy like Kirk Reeder when you see Blake Snell out there. You're like, I get it. So swing and miss stuff is great. Mm-hmm. Looks sexy. It's a cool car driving up and down the street. But really, to get to my destination, I'm going to need more Kirk Reeder and less swing and miss stuff. I mean, you can't keep putting this pressure on the bullpen. Yeah. 3 1/3. And by the way, while we're talking bullpens, bro, after Jelly gave up that granny, they didn't allow a hit the rest of the night. Let me say this again. They didn't allow a hit the rest of the night. So Jelly goes 1 2/3, allows only that 1 hit. Mm-hmm. Randy Blanken Rodriguez.
My guy, Randy.
Dude, I was sitting in that little room there prepping. I was like, do I got to go with a Mount Randy more on Giants? Because I got it.
Ooh.
Because I'm going Randy Rodriguez.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm going Randy Wynn.
You got to put Wynn up there.
300. And our favorite guy out of Reno with the tilted hat, Randy Messenger.
Ooh.
Remember that guy? And for the old heads, do you remember Randy Messenger, John Joe? Come on, man. He was a Brian Sabian. Listen, Sabian had his weird ones. Your Shea Hillenbrands, your Randy Messengers, all right? We can't kill Farhan all the time. Sabian had some weird ones, too. Orlando Cabrera, in short. And then I'm going to go for my old head. There was a guy in spring of 1977, one of the greatest springs in the history of the San Francisco Giants, a guy named Randy Elliott.
Okay.
Hit like 800. Ooh, San Francisco lost its mind. Never heard from the guy ever again.
Oh.
So Mount Randy Moore.
And you're leaving off the big unit, Randy Johnson.
Who was a Giant.
Who played in orange and black.
I'm going to put Randy Messenger over Randy Johnson.
Give me the big unit.
Randy Messenger had a little Waterboy flavor with the slight tilt to the hat.
Swag.
Yeah. Did you have the slight tilt when you were out there, buddy?
I did. Actually, when I was a kid, it used to piss people off. I used to pitch with a little bit of a crooked hat.
Fernando Rodney?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you shoot the arrow, too?
No, I was not shooting arrows. I was too busy flying birds.
So Snell, guys... This is getting frustrating. Now, as you mentioned, a couple things. One, the blister on the foot. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Violent Femmes. Blister in the Sun. Young Tone, we might need that. Blister in the Sun, one of the all-time party tunes. And then 2, how about his baby mama's having a baby? Not his wife, it's his girlfriend. They're having a baby any day now.
Oh, I did not know this.
Yeah. And so that could affect his next start,
Is
too.
he going to pull a Scotty Scheffler and get up and leave in the middle of the tournament?
I'd like him, you know what? Maybe
Just
if
don't
he
run
gets
over any
arrested,
cops.
maybe getting arrested might help him. Or
Bad
something,
boy
you know
Blake
what I mean?
Snell.
He's due to go Monday.
Yes.
And when Susan wrote that, I said, Monday? Wait, they have a Sunday game in New York. Don't they have an off day? No, they do not. They have a Monday day game.
In Philly, right?
No, here.
Oh,
Here.
it's back here.
Memorial Day, buddy.
I'll be there.
You're gonna after you do some toweling and copper toning out at McCovey Park.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
after I go down to Cali Roots this weekend.
Memorial Day matinee.
Ooh.
But they bumped it to 2, I guess maybe to allow because the Giants are flying from the East Coast.
Okay.
Now, thankfully, Sunday's game in New York is a morning game. I thought, don't give me the Sunday night game, dude. Don't do that to me. So it's a 10:30 start Sunday morning, and then they'll wing it. Still a big journey from New York back to San Francisco, and then to turn around and have a day game against, oh, by the way, a team that's off to the best start in its franchise history dating back to the 1870s. 140-something years or something, the best start in Phillies history. Wow. How about that? So anyway, well, listen, we'll get more into Snell on the other side. But
this is why you brought in Snell, to face Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber and all those lefty in that Philly lineup.
I agree with you that the stuff is good. I just stop with the nibbles and the pitch counts, buddy.
We need results. He's got too good of stuff to be this bad.
Dude, I'm going to nickname him Full Counts and Nibbles. Full Counts and Nibbles, the Blake Snell story. That's going to be the forward by Kirk Reeder. Give me Woody. Just give me a 78 pitch, 7 1/3 Kirk Reeder start right now, buddy. Can you imagine two different guys? Reeder had the most hittable stuff in the world, right? Snell has the most unhittable stuff in the world. Which guy would you rather have? Quite honestly, I don't even know. We'll carry that to the other side, and then we got to get into the particulars of the highlights of that win and play you guys some of the goosebump calls from Joe Ritzo next on the Sports Leader.
Your boy B. Snell is tearing up this beat.
All right, bright and early on a Thursday morning, we have our good friend Steve Moskowitz on the line. Steve, you want to talk to us about unfiled tax returns?
Yes, it is a situation that's so common. A lot of people, when they have an unfiled return, they think they're all alone. You're not. The number one reason people don't file is just plain old simple. They didn't have the money. They don't file the return. They made a mistake. Then the second year rolls around and they wonder, how can they file year 2 when they didn't file year 1? And by the way, they still don't have the money. Then it becomes a bad lifestyle. We have so much help for you. First, if you can't pay your taxes, that's okay. We want to cut a sweet deal for you. Second biggest reason is people don't have their records. That's okay too. We get all the records the IRS and the state has on you. We file everything that you need. We cut a deal for what you can't pay. And then your tax problems are behind you. And what we want to do is just give you a brand new life with these tax problems no longer bothering you. The only thing you have to do is call us and we have a free consultation.
That's it. Pick up the phone and call. That was tax attorney Steve Moskowitz. He's my tax attorney, and he should be your tax attorney. Give him a call at 888-TAX-DEAL, 888-TAX-DEAL, or go online to MoskowitzLLP.com.
Traffic Desk.
Wade pulls it into right field. That's a base hit, and that will tie the game. Matos around third. He scores. It's 5-5.
Look at the boys in the dugout. Team picture. Get it going. Andy, get the camera ready. Look at him in there. Left for dead early in the ball game. No quit now. Time to pay back. And that's it for Holderman.
There's so much going on in there. And by the way, thank you for the violin fibs. You tell me you know this from every college party you ever went to. Tell me you know this.
I was going to say, I don't think I heard this at the college parties I was at.
Dude, this transcends generations. Come on now. Come on, let me go out. Come on. No, come on. John Joe, no? Yes,
John Joe said he loves this song.
I mean, it's like the all-time the girls at your parties go crazy for this. When I'm a-walking, I strut my stuff. Come on, you know it. Then you guys get lower to the floor, and then the cute girl that you're eyeing at the party is about to go say, "Hey, Marcus, let's go dance to the Violent Femmes. Let's go.
Now, let's go under the strobe lights."
You're about to come out of your little spring here, Tony. We're actually going to get a little bit lower here. Violent Femmes out of Milwaukee. I think they might have made an appearance in the Pop Culture Showdown when the Bucks were bearing. Come on, Tone. We got to get you to more parties.
Yeah, dude. What? Wait, no. They don't play this at the parties I go to.
Tony's a party animal.
Wait. We gotta come out and let the party go, because this is how it felt. This is when they were down 5-0.
Come on, Tony, get low.
There you go, baby. Now we're going. Come on.
No, I'm with Tony on this one.
Song.
I'd say it wasn't played at the parties I was at. I can tell you that.
415-808-5627. What is the generational divide on Violent Femmes?
I was going to say, I've heard this song before, but never at a party, especially in college.
Are you kidding? Wow. Man, oh, man. All right.
See if there's an EDM cover for you, Tony.
Man, oh, man. You guys missed out on all the good, clean fun. You guys are busy You guys are busy with your rap feuds and shooting each other and all that stuff. You know
that's
what I mean?
it. Not like us, Murph.
Did you see that Chet Hanks thing going around, by the way?
Of him explaining the beef?
Is it real or is it a goof?
I think it's real.
I was going to bring it to the air, but I want to make sure it was Snopes did a fact check on it.
Well, I saw the conversation, and I thought it was a text exchange between you and Declan.
That's very good, buddy. Very good. And you know what? I'll give you about a 9 for that. Dude. Okay, I'll give you about a 9.
It was hilarious, too, for people who don't know. Chet Hanks, shout out White Boy Summer.
Want to cue up White Boy Summer here? Maybe you know that one, not Violent Femmes. Blister. The reason we played Blister in the Sun is that Blake Snell has a blister on his foot, and I told Tony, hey, might as well. It's a good excuse to play the
blister in the
Fist.
sun. But yeah, there's a viral kind of image of a screenshot of Chet Hanks explaining to Tom Hanks the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef. And I'm talking about Chet Hanks writing paragraphs and paragraphs explaining the beef, and Tom Hanks just saying, wow, that's crazy.
And then he said, actually, he goes, well, so who's winning? And then after the paragraphs, Chet wrote, did you not just read what I just wrote? So anyway, I hope it's true.
Yeah.
Do you think it's true?
I've seen people do like TikToks on it, like breaking it down. So I think when it's got this many legs, I think it's real.
Because the little ID on Hank said Pops, and the avatar picture he has of him is as Forrest Gump. So would Chet Hanks use his Forrest Gump as his dad's avatar?
If my dad was Tom Hanks, I would.
If your dad was Forrest Gump.
Yeah, exactly.
And he references, we should read it actually later, because he name checks the Bay Area like crazy.
And that's all I gotta say about
Oakland,
that.
Marshawn Lynch, Skyline High School, and all that, town business and all that stuff.
Bad gal, white dandada. Rude boy, it's a white boy summer. Bad gal, white dandada. Rude boy, it's a white boy summer.
See, in my world, there's room for both White Boy Summer and Blister in the Sun.
Did you hear that at any of your parties in college, Tony?
I've literally never heard that in my life.
Oh, God, we got weeks of content off of that.
I even made a
weeks of content.
I even made a Nick Turturro remix. You can look for that in the system, too, if you can find that.
Oh, dude, nice work on that. By the way, 347 says, guys, was the win that exciting? Was Pat Burrell that excited that he forgot to call it in?
Ooh.
So I'll let Tony get ready here as I tell you this.
White dandada. Can ruin my whole summer.
There it is. Nicely done, Tony.
Well, it was actually done by you to do that originally.
Nikki T remix.
You are listening to KNBR AM and KNBR FM San Francisco, the sports leader, a Cumulus media station. Very funny. Yeah. I mean, Burrow's got what are you, crazy? Rob Manfred looked at his phone and said, what, are you kidding me? You guys were down 5-0 and you choked that game Tuesday night. He said, you underestimated us, you empty suit. Put it in the books. San Francisco Giants 9. Pittsburgh Pirates 5.
Beautiful baseball. Beautiful baseball. Screw you. Screw you.
Let's go, San Francisco. Let's go, Giants.
I love you.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
Ah, love that. And thank goodness Matt Chapman let the B-52s forget blister in the sun. Let's let Matt Chapman go number 7. I love it. I love that I'm keeping you guys at B-52s and the Violent Femmes. You guys give me Not Like Us, Kendrick, and all that. See, now, I supported your Fred Schneider detour, but I think Marcus wanted Kate back. She wanted Kate Pearson.
I like Kate under the strobe lights.
All right, very good. Well, that could mean a lot.
It does mean a lot.
I mean? There you go.
You can read into that one. That's not a subliminal.
What a win. We've been saying, we opened the show by saying, Dear Giants, all is forgiven, right? All is forgiven. What a wild emotional swing. 24 hours. Don't forget, a week ago we were doing the big hit. Where did it all go wrong with Farhan?
About a week ago.
We were talking about not re-signing Gosman, not re-signing Rodon, who's pitching well right?
He is, and you might see him in a couple weeks out here in San Francisco.
I don't need to see him. Although he doesn't want a piece of this reborn Giants team.
That's what I'm saying. It's funny because we were riffing about where did it go wrong with Farhan's anxiety. And I gave my riff of it went wrong when he got rid of Kurt Casale. And then Kurt Casale came back, and now the Giants are playing their best baseball of the season.
So a lot of reaction to last night. And speaking of Kurt Casale, he's in the lineup today, which we'll get to you guys in just a second. But the guy who was in the lineup last night was the guy who was welcomed back, his first start in a while, Patrick Bailey. And he celebrated, by the way, with a 3-hit night.
Welcome back, Patty Barrows.
2 runs, RBI. He's up to 295 now. His OPS, I got his OPS now up above 800.
And Murph, I got to say, I was concerned. Of course, obviously, this concussion stuff is nothing to joke about, but he's made the transition now from going from the old school mask to the hockey mask. Yeah. And I saw him yesterday take off the hockey mask, and he was wearing a backwards hat. And I said, oh, no, is this the end of the headband Patrick Bailey era? But no, he hit a double in the game, took off his helmet, and he still had the headband on top of his head.
Dun, 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 dun. That was the national. His walk-up theme should be the national anthem. His walk-up music should be the national anthem.
I mean, he's a patriot, Murph.
Although I think more for his style, it'd be more Lee Greenwood, God Bless the USA.
Oh.
Well, I'm proud to be an American. You know that one, Young Tom? I bet they played that every morning at your high school.
No, they didn't.
I'm free.
I bet they played it at the parties in Kentucky.
Well, they didn't play Violent Femmes. The cool kids were playing Violent Femmes, and the cute girls were dancing to it. See, that's the cool.
Yeah, Marcus and I are on the same page. We've never heard that.
Well, that's why you've never been at a party with a cute girl.
Yeah,
I mean, okay. All right.
Let's go to Pat. Let's take Pat Bailey. After the game last night, he threw on the headset. Huge win, says Pat Bailey. Cut T, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like yesterday was one of the worst losses I've been a part of playing this game, and for us to be able to come back and, you even get down 5-0 against, I think, a top 10 pitcher in baseball right now, and go over scratch and claw and get this win was huge.
He called Jared Jones a top 10 pitcher.
I mean, he's pitching like it right now.
That's a bold
call. He's got a sub-3 ERA, has one of the highest strikeout rates in baseball. Finished yesterday with, like 6 or 7 strikeouts?
Have the Giants now won both games that he started?
They have.
Yeah.
They beat him earlier this year in San Francisco, and then obviously they got the late inning comeback last night. But to get 2 wins when Jared Jones is on the mound is quite impressive.
And then Bailey getting back behind the plate, which, by the way, today he is not. Kurt Casale will be starting today. And always just spoiler alert, they're going with the bullpen game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Brings back, I got to tell you, bad flashbacks. Bad flashbacks. The moment, who was it? Curly or you or Tony said Eric Miller's starting. I tell you, man, I got like a little acid reflux. I get it. They don't really have a 5th starter right now. Keaton Wynn's hurt. Mason Black was not effective. I get it, but dude, I mean,
really, is that what you imagined?
Thank you. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I mean, I'm getting flashbacks. All of a sudden, I'm wrestling with Brebbia for the ball.
That's an uninformed take.
Oh boy. Hey, where are the bullpen games?
Yeah. We're back.
I
get it. We're going to get Eric Miller today.
Come on, Tone.
I think Mason Black.
Where are the Marlins hats?
The depth of that, the richness of the voice.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Where's the Mason Black?
Nobody has ever asked for a Marlin hat with a more sexy voice than that right there.
I don't think anybody's ever asked for a Marlins hat in general.
That's very true. Bailey says, hey, I'm back. It was a grinder, but it feels good.
Yeah, that was a grind of a game, but man, it felt good being back. It felt good to be on the East Coast with some humidity and sweating a little bit. So that was good. I got a lot of work in tonight and ready to just keep going.
Look at that, a little shot at the bay, huh? All right, Bailey, I see how it is.
You need some humidity.
I see with the headband and the humidity. I got you. All right, we'll trade you to the Braves.
Stop
Just
it.
get us give us Acuna. We'll take him.
No. We're not trading Patrick
I'm
Bailey.
riffing everybody.
I don't know. After you left him off your
Jerry.
top 25, your top player is younger than young Tony. Patrick Bailey was not on the list. Is Murph anti-Bailey? 808 KNBR.
As the great Pat Buckles once said, Jerry, we're riffing. Bob Melvin on the controversial start of a Blake Snell. Cut wide, Tony. 3 1/3, dude. I told you guys, full counts and nibbles. The Blake Snell story. Forward by Kirk Reeder. Where Reeder's going to say, here's how you do it. And Snell's like, no, I'd rather go full on everybody. Why work into the 7th when you could be gone in the 4th? You know?
He's efficient, Murph.
Oh, come on, Blake Snell. Monday against the Phillies, Memorial Day matinee, maybe, unless his baby mama has a baby.
Yeah, he spoke after the game and seems like he's dialed in for that Monday start against the Phillies.
But again, she could have the baby, and then he would be out, and we'd be back to this whole, would he have to rehab again and all that stuff off paternity leave and all that?
I'm done with rehab.
Anyway, here's Blake Snell. Bob Melvin, Blake Snell.
You know, they made Blake throw some pitches. His stuff was a lot better today. Unfortunately, I had to go get him in the middle of the inning, and that didn't work out. But I thought his stuff was way better.
Okay. You agreed with that, and I told you I defended him that Friday night. The stuff has never really been a question. It's locating and it's attacking. He doesn't want to get strike one on a guy. No. Isn't strike one the most important pitch in baseball?
Absolutely.
He doesn't like it.
Don't tell it to Blake Snell.
He likes ball one. He does.
And ball 2 and ball 3 and dropping in a 3-0 slider against O'Neal Cruz in the 4th inning.
Oh, man. Well, here's Bob Melvin on him throwing as many as he did. What did he throw, 87,
Got
was
up
it?
to 87 yesterday, but only 45 strikes.
There it is.
Certainly hope so. Now he threw close to 90 pitches, which kind of a full compliment going forward. He had to work hard to do it and took a little something out of him, but endurance-wise, I think it was key for him to throw that many pitches.
Okay. All right. Well, let's hear from the man himself. He's a trip, man. Did you see that woman have the sign square root of 49?
Yeah.
Did you see that? And he was baffled by the whole thing. Square root's a kind of a tough deal. But at least I know that one.
Yeah, and also
that's 7.
He responded. He was like, I wish it was 4.
Yeah, I guess his number was 4, but he can't wear that because that's Mel Ott.
Yeah, so.
Sorry, buddy.
I mean, we're not changing the laws of.
If you hit 512 home runs, we'll give you number 4.
Yeah.
All right? That's what. You know Mel Ott, Young Tone. Mel Ott.
I do, yes.
Did you know he was Vin Scully's favorite player?
Really?
Vin Scully was a Giants fan.
I did know that.
Yeah. And so Mel Ott was his guy. Wow. Did you know that when Mike Krukow was on the road, his hotel fake name was Mel Otter? Mel Otter.
Mel Otter. I did not know that.
To avoid the paparazzi.
Nice.
How about
What
that?
do you guys use as your alias at hotels?
Well, for years when I was at bars in my 20s, I told everybody my name was Trent.
Ooh.
That was my fake name. I don't know. I just went with it.
I usually just go around telling people I'm Brian Murphy.
Was Adam Rank involved?
Hey, dude. It's Brian Murphy.
He's like, is he the guy who just played Violent Femmes in the jukebox right there?
Yeah.
Now, listen, I'm not going out seeking the femmes, but I do like it at a party with the cute girls.
Dude, it's Brian Murphy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. By the way, Brian Murphy, who put his face on Instagram and just got absolutely destroyed in the comments. What are these people? Why is everybody so mean?
They're trolls. That's what they are.
Why are they so mean? I don't go around saying mean things to people on Instagram.
It's the internet. That's what they do.
Why do they do that? They hurt my feelings.
Oh, Murph.
They did.
You got to have thick skin on the internet.
I did, but I was like, come on, man. I had fun doing that trivia thing. And I'm like, why does everybody have to tell me that I'm ugly, I suck, I'm all that stuff?
Well, your problem is you went into the comments.
I thought I was handsome.
I'm not. You got to stay away from the comments.
Well, I thought
Murph.
I'd go in and see the trivia stuff. And then I just decided to respond to everybody, but I responded with kindness.
Oh, look at you.
Some guy told me I was a sad clown. I said, have a nice day.
Yeah.
That's what I told him. Some guy goes, shave, bro. I said, gee, that's not very nice. So
look at you killing him with kindness.
Trying to kill him with kindness. So, hey, guys, I'm just letting you know, you put your face on the internet, they're going to tell you you're ugly and you suck. All right? So, not doesn't get much worse than you're ugly and you suck.
Yeah, that's pretty low blow.
That's pretty it right there.
Yeah.
I mean, where can you go from there? That's the question.
You could probably say some things that we can't say on the radio, but yeah, those are pretty insulting.
Sounds like those people are on the text line every day.
Yeah. How's the YouTube chat, by the way? Are they flaming us?
It's positive. A lot of the time, it's like, guys are just communicating between themselves.
They talk to each other.
There's a squad. I actually got called out Friday night, met one of the YouTubers and said, Waterboy, you got to get more involved in the YouTube chat. So I'll make a better effort to do so.
So these people understand now we got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I got a sponsor sheet. We got a cut sheet. I got texts and I got tweets. So how am I going to fit YouTube into that?
And I got my soundboard.
And we got the call screen.
And I got Lamont Wade Jr. calling in at 6 a.m. this morning.
And we got Blake Snell talking about the team. showing resilience. Uncut Zebra 2 here, yes.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was fun to watch, fun to support, fun to see the boys come through, and especially after yesterday, see that happen to us and then show a little bit of resiliency there and make it happen. So that was awesome, and keep going. We just got to keep winning.
Well, he's pretty funny, man.
He's a funny dude.
I mean, his laid-back charm goes a long way, doesn't it? It makes you forgive 3 1/3, right? Well, here he is about his physical state because the adductor strain and everything. Z3, Tom.
The blister on the foot yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we went more. We were aiming at like 75, maybe a little more, and we went past that, and I felt great. So, yeah, I'm ready to get going, and I felt good today. So, it's frustrating not doing what I knew I should have done. But looking forward, and I like where I'm at. I like where I'm going.
Yeah, man.
Do you like where he's going, Murph?
I'm hopeful. Now, the stat that bothers me about him is that he's never put together back-to-back quality years. And go look at his baseball card or baseball reference. He has never strung together consecutive good seasons.
Well, that's great news when he opts into his contract for next year.
I know. Well, yeah, exactly, for next year. But, I mean, I'm with you, though. The stuff is like...
He's too good of a pitcher to be this bad.
And it's why when he was a free agent, we were saying the Giants weren't going to sign him. We had a feeling that the way Bob Melvin talked about Matt Chapman, that was love.
Yeah.
That was love. The way he never talked about Blake Snell told you, like, yeah, it's okay. But he was the last guy on the shelf. I compared it. I was talking to somebody last night about it. I said, it's like during COVID when you had to grab the toilet paper. Remember the toilet paper thing in COVID? What was that, by the way?
Sometimes you got to go single ply.
Why were we on a toilet paper run? We thought we thought the S was coming down and almost literally.
Literally, yeah.
But it was like, hey man, the S is going down. Give me the toilet paper.
People just started hoarding toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like it was going to go extinct or something.
So I feel like Blake Snell was like in that last COVID shopping thing, that last roll of toilet paper. You're like, he's still on the shelf. Grab him.
Are we going to start calling him single ply Snell?
Oh, man, dude.
Oh, man.
But I mean, because seriously, I think if you go back and listen to our shows in December and January, I don't think we were going nuts for Snell. Weren't we saying, 5 and dive, too much money, all that stuff? Because we thought you were thinking like 190 or something.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But for the contract the Giants got him on, only a 2-year deal, I liked the signing. And we debated a lot about him being a 5 and dive guy. But especially in this era of baseball, when most pitchers aren't going past the 5th or 6th inning because they don't want you to face a lineup for a third time, he's kind of the prototypical pitcher in this era of baseball. But right now, he's not pitching up to expectations for sure.
All right, we'll continue that on the other side. Get you to today's lineup. Lamont Wade Jr. at 7:30. And I just want to go through the Joe Ritzo feels, man. I'm going to relive the morning, relive the night in the morning next on the Sports Leader.
Sunnyvale, shout out to you for supporting KNBR, Sunnyvale Sports Leader.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.
The 1-1. Wade swings. Line drive. Right field. He's got a hit. Over towards the track. Zawinski cuts it off. Rounding third. Matos heading home, and he'll score without a throw. A 2-out RBI single for Lamont Wade Jr. And it's the Giants tonight down to their final out, getting the big hit to tie it in the ninth. It is 5-5.
You know that we're never out the game. You know, pitchers pitching well. You know, we're playing good defense, and our hitters are getting timely hits. You know, it's been a good last couple of days getting these runs up here. So we just, you know, we're never out of the ball game. So you know, we're just gonna keep fighting and not give away at bats, and just keep pushing and getting on base for the next guy.
All right, man. We are just buzzing all morning long. It's kind of it's almost like a vacation morning because we only go till 8:35 because then pregame starts. So it's almost like we have a 3-day weekend coming up.
That's
but it's also
a baby Friday, but it's also a baby Thursday, half the show today.
And it's a baby best win of the year Friday, too. So obviously we've been talking about all morning. And if you missed it, Lamont Wade Jr. joined us right out of the gate. 6 a.m. He got off the bus, and I think he was doing the interview in the dugout. You could hear the guys cleaning the cleats in the background. We'll play that for you guys.
I love the click-clack, the sound of metal cleats, man.
Very good.
Click-clack.
You know, in golf, the move towards, and this for you, Young Tone, as a golfer, a lot of old head golfers lament the demise of metal spikes because the soft spike, the crunch of metal spikes on a cart path soothed a lot of people. It's like
I
a nice
completely
sound.
understand.
Yeah.
Like, the moment that I graduated from wearing those rubber cleats in baseball to putting on the metal spikes, I felt like a big leaguer. Just hearing that click-clack, walking on the cement to the dugout, man. It's one of my favorite sounds in baseball. Maybe one of my favorite sounds just in general.
Well, let's relive some of these. You know, we talked about Snell, and that was frustrating. But, man, oh, man, you know, who do you want? I mean, if you had to sort of power rank your heroes from last night, I mean, Lamont Wade getting on base 6 times is a pretty easy one, right?
Yeah.
Randy Rodriguez throwing 2 hitless perfect innings with no walks and 4 strikeouts. He's pretty high up there. Obviously, Matt Chapman hitting a 2-run homer and making the play.
I was going to say,
at the end of the game.
We got to give some love to Matt Chapman, which we've been doing for the last couple weeks now. Because as I pointed out during the last homestand, Matt Chapman made a change to his walk-up music, started bumping Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us. And Murph, since he made that switch 12 games ago, he's batting .370, .463, .696 OPS slugging percentage. He's raised his batting average nearly 40 points, and he's raised his on-base percentage over 50 points in the last 5 games alone.
Man, oh, man. So this is, I mean, was it late spring training? Is it adjusting to a new team? Is it just the vagaries of baseball? But, man, oh, man, this is the Chapman, you know, who he is. Now, good, he's a .240 career hitter, so not expecting the guy to go hit .310. But we weren't expecting him to hit, 190, 195?
And I wasn't expecting him to lead Major League in Baseball in errors after the first couple weeks of the season.
That's funny. I get it, and we talked about it. It was a little deceiving because weren't there like 3 in a 2-game stretch?
He had a couple really rough games.
In Philly. But I think for the most part, I've been impressed. Like from the first week on, but you were right. He hit a stretch where he made those errors, and then that stat was glaring. So that stat was out there. It was a little deceiving, but man, oh man, let's get into some of the calls from last night. Well, it started in the ninth with the Luis Matos. So 2 outs,
2 strikes.
What were you thinking at that point? Were you thinking, this is to come back this short, to come back and come short is going to be crushing, right?
Now, yes, because they were so close, especially after cutting that lead down in the 8th inning. Now, bases loaded. What was it? Jorge Soler with kind of a swinging bunt was the only RBI they got. So I was like, damn, this is another blown opportunity, another case where they're struggling with runners in scoring position. But as I've been talking about for the last week or so with Luis Matos, when he comes up to the plate, it gives you some confidence. Whether or not he's going to leave the ballpark, hell, there is nobody for him to drive in yesterday. But the way he attacks, you want to talk about being aggressive. This is a guy, I don't know, he might have like 1 walk over the last week or 2. Doesn't strike out too often, but he's just going up there hacking. And I loved him putting pressure on the defense. Brian Reynolds bobbles that ball in left field, and he just takes second base right in his face. And then you got Lamont Wade coming up, and you start feeling good about your chances.
So here it was. I mean, you're down to your last strike. And we just thought Ritzo was great last night on the call. Here's the 9th inning Matos at bat.
Wait, which one? I don't think we have that one.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, the Luis Matos.
Look at Young Tone. Look at the call screen page down
taking
there.
the E7 in the face of Brian Reynolds.
There you go, buddy. There you go.
Holderman from the stretch. His pitch. Matos swings. Line drive into the gap left center. Quickly over to cut it off. Reynolds, he bobbles it. Matos heading for second. Here's the throw. He's safe at second base. In with a head first dive. The throw bounces away from Gonzalez and is picked up near the mound by Holderman. And the Giants have life here in the 9th.
Yeah, so what a play. So that sets up Wade.
And by the way, what'd you think of hitting Luis Matos in a leadoff spot?
It's a good question. So without Jung-Hoo Lee, they don't have I would think Lamont Wade would be a leadoff guy.
Yeah. I would have thought so too, but he has not hit leadoff once since Jung-Hoo Lee has been hurt.
God, what is the thinking behind that? I wonder what it is. Well, let's ask Susan. I'm baffled by that a little bit. I am. So if you're hitting Wade 1, who you hitting 2? Estrada?
Either Estrada or Luis
Chapman
Matos
3.
right behind him. I thought you could have just flipped Matos and Wade yesterday and had a
Is
pretty
Matos
damn
a
good
contact guy to go to the right side? I mean, he didn't strike 6 at-bats last night. Put the ball in play every time. I can buy that. Obviously he's got a reason. He takes the pen. He writes it for a reason. I'm curious to the decision. I don't have a good answer for you.
I would think that he's doing it just because of the lack of left-handed bats to split up the lineup so you go righty, lefty, righty, lefty.
I guess that's one argument. But then you go righty with Estrada Chapman.
Yeah, a lot of right-handed bats in his lineup right now.
Soler and Ramos. By the way, listen, we're trying to stay positive because it was such a great win. Yeah, 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts last night. He's down to 220, and the OPS is barely above 600.
Sounds like we're due for another Carl Yastrzemski hit.
Well, if Conforto comes back and then you could move Rom. I don't know. The defense matters. But anyway, so now Wade, and we love this call by Ritzo. 530 said there's a slight Kentucky Derby vibe to this call. Take it out.
The 1-1. Wade swings. Line drive. Right field. He's got a hit. Over towards the track. Zawinski cuts it off. Rounding third. Matos heading home, and he'll score without a throw. A 2-out RBI single for Lamont Wade Jr. And it's the Giants tonight down to their final out, getting the big hit to tie it in the 9th. It is 5-5.
So good. By the way, 623, who's turned into a strong texter, says, you sure that wasn't Ryan Theriot in the crowd last night? Remember his scream when he scores in 2012 in Detroit as he comes across the plate, man. Pull. So that guy was kind of a hero for Giants fans last night, the lone wolf in the crowd.
And I love seeing Giants fans on the road like that. There was this one guy who had the Golden Gate Bridge formed into his beard. Another Giants fan that was on the road. Way to represent LPNC.
I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, I'll send you the photo.
Oh, wow. Meanwhile, so then obviously they tie the game. They go into the ninth. They go into the 10th. First of all, then you got to get Doval out there again, by the way. Although the ninth inning was pitched by, and we need to talk about the bullpen.
Yes.
And we need to talk about your boy, Randy Rodriguez.
Dude, Randy, Dirty Randy.
Are you starting? I'll take Dirty Randy as a nickname. I will. In fact, Tony, let's jump over to the cut sheet where Bob Melvin's talking about Randy Rodriguez. And this is some people saying, well, Tuesday night, maybe this should have been the guy.
I was calling for him.
Randy Rodriguez he's Dirty Randy.
Randy Rodriguez is becoming not just a long guy for us. I mean, that was probably on the pitching end 2 really key innings to be able to hold it down. Not only hold it down, but, carve through it pretty easily. Get us back in the dugout quickly and give us a chance to score. He's really done a nice job for us.
I mean, dude, so we can start seeing like 8th inning, 1-run games kind of thing?
And how about him having a 2-inning performance yesterday, 4 strikeouts, and Murph? If we're being honest with you, if we're doing our confidence kind of rankings in the bullpen, right now it's Camilo Doval, Ryan Walker, and Randy Rodriguez.
Man, okay, buddy.
Those are the 3 guys I'm looking for in close games.
And shout out the name Randy. You just don't get it anywhere else. I remember when I was living in Ireland that brief time, they're like, dude, what do you guys do? You can name you guys Randy. We don't have any name Randy over here, right? It's a very American name. So I said, well, think of Mount Randy more in Giants history. We got to put Randy Rodriguez on there, obviously. Come on, Randy, win. Not only 300 hitter, but junior Giants vice chair in waiting.
Bookie.
I got to go with the wacky Reno-raised reliever Randy Messenger. Remember with the tilted hat and his brief stay here? And then for the old heads, the spring of 1977, the greatest spring in Giants history. People never stop talking about the spring of Randy Elliott. Had like the greatest spring in Cactus League history. Never heard from the guy ever again. People talked about that guy for days. Randy Elliott. But now I'm leaving out.
I know you're going Randy Elliott and Randy Messenger over my guy Randy Johnson, the big unit.
And then of course I heard from the old heads saying, "Dude, Billie Jean King's sister, staple of the 1970s, Randy Moffat."
Ooh,
Randy Moffat.
Can I give you a Macho Man, Randy Savage?
But he's not a Giants. Not
the
a Giants.
cream always raises to the top.
And since we're going for the Joe Ritzo calls, can we get the game ender here? And how about, by the way, seeing Joey Bart? And we need to talk about 5-3 ball game, bases loaded. Soler hits the nubber in front of the plate.
Yeah.
Bart had a split second to decide whether he could lunge at Soler or try to beat him to the plate. Instead, threw to first and allowed the run to score.
Correct. And that ball was kind of hit into no man's land. Now, with the bases being loaded, I thought Bart could have potentially turned around, maybe lay out and try to slap his glove down on home plate, or maybe even cut off the runner at third. But I think you saw Joey Bart take a quick look at the runner, decide that he did not have the play, and he took the out at first base.
Yeah, so that was big. And then, of course, Bart's up in the 10th inning. I mean, are they going to mount a 4-run comeback 2 nights in a row? You hope not. But Bart tried with a shot down the line.
Dude, he smoked this ball.
Until Matt Chapman.
Doval ready. His 0-2 pitch. Bart swings, hits one hard on the ground to third. Diving Chapman knocks it down, gets up, throws to first. Got him! What a play, Matt Chapman! And this game is over. The Giants in 10 innings beat the Pirates 9-5. 9 unanswered runs. And then a defensive gem over at third from Matt Chapman on a ball that appeared headed for the left field corner. What a win.
So well done, Joe Ritzo. I got to experience a lot of those calls last night.
Yeah, what a win it is, especially after Snell leaves the game early. Jilly comes in, gives up the grand slam, but after that, 5 no-hit innings from the bullpen, and then, of course, the 9th and 10th inning comeback.
And I'm going there. Wild card update. Padres hold the 3rd spot at 26-26. The Giants and Diamondbacks tied right behind at 24-26. Tied in the loss column, 2 back in the win column. You're in the hunt, boys. You're in the hunt.
Here we go.
All right, very fun.
Here we
Just
go.
fun, right? I mean, this is the baseball at its best because it takes a Tuesday night in May or Wednesday night in May and just turns it into something totally memorable, and that's the beauty of the daily poetry of baseball. The mosaic, right?
I mean, again, look at the difference between Tuesday night and Wednesday night. In our shows, Wednesday morning and Thursday morning.
Exactly.
It's a different vibe. It's fun when the Giants are winning ball games.
So much so that Lamont Wade Jr. hopped off the bus and called in. And you're going to hear it next on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the Sports Leader.
I love baseball.
Lamont Wade Jr., the hero last night, reaches 6 times and in Pittsburgh before today's game, calling in, and we want to thank him very much for joining us on the UMA guest line, Lamont Wade Jr. Hey, what a win last night, Lamont, and how is Pittsburgh this fine Thursday morning?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me. It's good. You know, the sun's out, some great weather. I'm at the field right now watching the grounds crew get the field ready for today. It's a good day.
Ah, man, there's a certain romance to that there, buddy. Hey, so you have to just take us through the last, 9-10 hours? I guess when your head hit the pillow last night, what was your thought about what had just happened in that ball game?
Oh man, you know that this team never gives up, and that it's really that we have a really exciting team. And that we had, just like you said, it's a quick turnaround. We're back here already at the park, get ready for this 12:35 game. But just that trying to take that momentum into today and build off of what we did yesterday as an offense and as a defense, and come out here today and try and get a win.
And Lamont, that really is the beautiful part of baseball. There's always a game the next day. So talk to us about the highs and lows of losing a game in the 9th inning a couple nights ago versus winning it last night.
Yeah, it's all about that short-term memory. I mean, it's 162 games. You don't have time to put too much stock into one game or one loss or one win. You got to get back, and you got to get back to your routine and do it all over again the next day. So it's not easy, but you just got to flush it and come back knowing that you have an opportunity to right the ship the next day and completely change the momentum and the way your season's going.
You guys did the ultimate flush job from that Monday to Tuesday, because then you're down 5-0 too in this game and not feeling too good. But now, Lamont, we got to jump to the 9th inning because you guys have chipped away and you've chipped away. Chappie hits the homer. Soler gets a couple RBIs. It's a 5-4 ball game, and Matos is up with 2 outs and nobody on. You're in the on-deck circle. Can you take us through what you saw from that point on? Just, how Matos handled his at-bat, how you saw him taking second. Take us through from the on-deck circle up through your at-bat.
Yeah, I mean, Matos has been impressive, ever since he's gotten up here. He never gives away at-bats. He's always in at-bats. He's just fighting that whole at-bat. And for him to put the barrel on the ball right there and have a heads-up base running play, that's the reason why we were able to tie the game, honestly. If not, we don't know where that game's at. So his hustle double by him getting to second base was huge and allowed us to be able to tie up the game and eventually break it open there in the 10th. So, hats off to him. He's been playing great on both sides of the ball. His energy is contagious, and, it's really fun to watch him play.
And then we've asked you this since you got the nickname Late Night Lamont about your calm. Bob Melvin had a quote after the game. He's like, that's Lamont. Calm, stays in the moment, goes through his plan. That's, once again, it's a time for you to tell us for the 100th time, yeah, that's who I am, right? Tell us about being in that box and staying in the moment there.
Yeah, I think it's just all about, knowing that, you just want to put together a good at-bat to keep the line moving. It's just any way that you can to get on base, whether it's a walk, whether it's a hit, just anything you can do to keep the line moving and to put the team in a great situation. So, you just try and stay within yourself, not get too big, not do too much, continue to, try and own the strike zone and swing at the right pitches and lay off the ones that you can't really do anything with. So it's just all about staying within your approach and just relaxing and just trying to see it happen.
Lamont Wade Jr., of course, is the voice you hear on the Uma guest line this morning. And Lamont, last night, 3 hits, 3 walks, got on base 6 different times. You have the highest on-base percentage in baseball. How confident are you in your approach right now, whether that's seeing pitches or just your knowledge of the strike zone?
I'm pretty confident right now in the strike zone. I feel like I'm seeing the ball well. It's still trying to lay off that high pitch. It's tough, but anytime that you can just put yourself in good hitters' counts, I feel like the more successful you can be. So I'm just trying to come out here and win pitches and get in good counts and just get on base and help the team win and help get on base so the guys can drive me in.
Lamont, you mentioned when you were talking about your approach, how you're trying to keep things simple and short to the ball. I was actually taking a dive into some of these StatCast stats that came out this season, tracking swing rates, and you have one of the shortest swings in baseball. Is that kind of an approach that you've tried to influence into your at-bats this season, and do you think that's why you're having so much success with your batting average?
I think anytime you're short to the ball, the better. I definitely, for myself and my profile, I definitely don't need to get long. Anytime it's long, it's more time, takes more time, and as time as you don't have, all these guys, all these pitchers have great arms, they got great velo, and they got good stuff, so you can't be long. I feel like I need to be short to the ball and give myself a chance. So, it's not something that I'm trying to calculate, but I'm definitely working on trying to be short to the ball for sure.
Well, it's working. You're hitting 336 with a 484 on base, and then, like you said, you're just going to stay in that moment and go through your plan when you get up. We're talking to Lamont Wade Jr., bright and early from Pittsburgh before the Giants get ready for the series finale, and then off to New York. What a win last night, from 5-0 down to a 9-5 win. What was it like in the clubhouse last night? Was it? I know Brandon Crawford's gone, so there's no more Club Craw. How do you guys celebrate a win like that?
Oh no, we definitely celebrated that win last night. It was definitely chaotic and crazy in the clubhouse. The vibes were really good. Music was loud. Craw was on the DJ when he was here, but now it's a mixture of like Webby and Chappie. So and sometimes Snell gets on there sometimes. So right now it's a little trifecta right now, but the music's been good. So it's been all right. But no, last night we definitely celebrated real good. But but we had to get out of there quick. We had a quick turnaround today with this 12:35 game. So we wanted to hurry up, celebrate real quick, and then flush it, and then get some rest and get back today.
Yeah, we won't keep you too much longer. We know you got a routine to get to, but I'm looking at your win-loss record. You guys are 24-26, and you're like, But I'm wondering your description of this team after 50 games, because it's been up, down, sideways. You've had players come and go. Some guys got hurt. Some young kids have come. How would you describe the first 50 games?
I think it's just, just a roller coaster of a season, just like any other season. You're always going to be battling with injuries, and every team that goes through that as well. We're going to have ups and downs at the plate, ups and downs on defense, pitching, but that's just the name of the game. But I feel like this group has short-term memory and is able to just bounce back in a great fashion on all facets of the ball. And I feel like guys are really sticking to their routines and putting the work in. So, it's just a matter of time before it all clicks, and it's been clicking as of late. We had a good little streak going right there, and then, that win last night. So, I think it's just the nature of the game with this first 50 games. It's just the season, but, it's going to have ups and downs, but we just got to keep riding it out and keep believing in each other and know that we can get it done.
We've also seen Bob Melvin move you up and down in this lineup this season. Lamont, where do you feel most comfortable batting in this lineup?
Honestly, it doesn't really matter to me. Anywhere Bo Mel puts me in the lineup, I feel comfortable. I don't think the approach changes on whether you're batting leadoff or batting fourth. I still want to put together the same at bats, consistent at bats, and owning the strike zone. So I really don't have a preference on where I hit in the lineup. Wherever I just want to just try and make the lineup. So if I make the lineup, I'm in there. I'm happy with that.
And whether that's against a righty or against a lefty, your splits have been phenomenal this year. How confident are you going up there, even in those lefty-lefty matchups like we saw last night against Rolls Chapman?
Yeah, I feel confident. I feel as long as I'm on time then I can be on time with either lefty or righty. It's just a matter of getting on time with the pitcher and making my move, and just seeing the ball well. If I see the ball well and make my move, I feel like I can hit lefties and righties.
Yeah, it's that approach that's gotten you where you got. Hey, just quickly before I let you go, you got to tell us about the new kids. You mentioned Matos. Just a quick book on Elliot Ramos. You've seen this kid. What can you tell the Giants fans who are listening right now about him?
Oh, he's exciting. He's electric. He had a lot of energy in the clubhouse, on the field, plays the game the right way, hits balls hard. He's got pop to all fields, plays tremendous in the outfield. He's been showing off out there with all the assists, the diving catches and everything like that. So he's just a great all-around ball player. Excited to continue to watch him grow in this game, and he's taking solid at-bats. He's putting the ball hard in play, coming through clutch, just like all the other young guys up here. So he's been fun to watch.
And what's the book on Luciano? I mean, you're 30 years old. He's 22. He's like he comes from a different generation, right?
Yeah, you make me feel old now, but yeah, Luciano, and he's a calm guy, which is really cool. You know, he never seems to get no moments too big for him. You know, he's got a cannon of an arm over there, short. He's swinging the bat well right now too, as well. And another guy with a lot of pop, and who's exciting on the base pass. So, and you know, all these young guys that we got have bright futures, and just want to continue to watch them grow and help them any way I can, and just continue to see them have success. So
it's exciting. Hey, speaking of cannon of the arms, and then we'll let you go. But that game, that play that ended that game last night. I mean, Matt Chapman's been doing it his entire career. Now we're seeing it in San Francisco. I know he was in Oakland, but we're Giants fans. That last play in particular, from your view, was that maybe one of one? Have you never seen something like that, have you?
I mean, Joey hit that ball. I don't know how hard he hit it officially, but it looked like he hit it 110. And I'm just looking down the line to see where Ramos was going to get this ball in, and see where I need to back up. And then I just heard it hit a glove, and I see Chapman on the ground and bouncing up, and then next thing you know, he's just throwing a strike to my chest. I was like, oh, I thought that ball was down the line. I've never seen that. He just Gold Glove. You can tell. He's taken away so many hits over there. He has a cannon of an arm, and it's an accurate arm. He's just been fun to watch, and he's putting it on full display right now on defense, but also at the plate too. He's been mashing the ball lately, and it's been really fun to watch at that bat.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but you don't have to work on scoop drills with him. Everything's chest high.
No scoops with him. Everything's right in the chest, and don't need to stretch because he's getting it over there too. He's getting over there real fast. So no, he definitely makes it easy on you over there at first base, which is fine with me. And it's really fun to watch him just swallow up all those hits over there, and just taking away hits. So
and
it's been really fun to watch.
When you catch him, I wonder if you're just smiling over there. They got that big inner smile, right? Like look at that was easy, right?
Yep, I just put the glove to my chest and just close it. I just know it's going to be there every time.
And Lamont, you've played first base now for the Giants, so you've caught balls across the diamond from Matt Chapman, Casey Schmidt, Brandon Crawford. Who has the best arm from across the diamond?
I would honestly say right now probably Chapman. Between Chapman and Casey Schmidt, both of those two have really good arms. And honestly, J.D. Davis had a really good arm as well. I can't leave him out.
Nice.
But for sure right now it's definitely Chapman.
Lamont, man, Giants fans were giddy in the Bay Area last night. I just got to tell you, people were just stopping each other on the street talking about that game last night. So you guys put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces, and we appreciate you hopping on an early morning. So go get him. Just go try to get on base 7 times today, all right?
I appreciate you guys.
Nice little cackle there from Lamont at the end. So what a vibe. What a great morning to be a Giants fan after last night. 3-day weekend looming. Day baseball, 8:35 pregame. Susan Slusser live from Pittsburgh with some news on Blake Snell. Next on The Sports Leader. All right, and days like today, the springtime holiday weekend coming up, beautiful weather, it makes me think about River Islands out in Lathrop, Northern California's best-selling master plan community. If you're a young family and you're looking to kind of get a nice house, a big house, 3 to 6 bedroom house with the latest in smart home technology and design, and live in a great sort of groundbreaking community where you have everything at your fingertips, whether it's charter schools for your kids or a brand new high school that's opening or a beautiful baseball diamond for your kids to play ball on, and little league fields everywhere, and rivers to kayak on, and lakes to kayak on, and jogging trails. It says River Islands is that place. I've been out there. We capped our tour out at the boathouse, kind of place to relax with a beautiful lunch, tunes bumping, sports on TV, bocce ball. It's all good. So check it out. It's been 10 years since River Islands first opened, and in that time, more than 4,000 homes have been sold, mostly to people choosing to move from the core Bay Area to a more relaxed lifestyle along the San Joaquin River. So isn't it time for you to discover the island? Start your tour now at riverislands.com. And hey, I'll meet you at the boathouse.
It was for me.
Quite simply, Susan Slusser knows baseball. That's why she's the Chronicle's senior MLB beat reporter. And that's why she joins Murph and Marcus on KNBR. Now.
Woo, I got to tell you, last time we talked to Susan, we're like, oh, you're not going to Pittsburgh, LA. She said, no, I'm going. We're like, wow. Well, it turned out to be quite a decision because she's seen some incredible baseball. And she's on her way to New York, too, which I know pleases the very metropolitan Susan Slusser. Hey, this segment is sponsored by River Islands. Come home to River Islands in Lathrop and discover the San Joaquin River lifestyle with its lakes, parks, and schools. Start your tour today at riverislands.com. I love that we're still going with Style Council for Sluss. Good morning, Susan. Wow. What a couple of days you've had there. Good morning.
Morning, Susan.
Yeah, I got a little extra baseball both days. The first one probably not the ones that Giants fans necessarily want to have me talk about, but last night, sure.
Susan,
fun stuff. Interesting.
I mean, we literally had a funeral for the season yesterday. We're like, it's over. We're like, where did it all go wrong?
Worst loss of the year.
And then here, like, we're walking around bouncing off the walls today. So you gotta love baseball, right? It's a wacky business. So there's so many different ways we can start, but let's start with news. And I believe you tweeted out some news on Blake Snell.
Well, he has been sort of unsure about what the plans were for him, but who knows exactly if there was like an actual like this date then. But I know his girlfriend Haley is due basically this week. So I kept saying, like, wouldn't it make sense to just leave after the game, after you pitch? And he was like, I don't know what's going to happen. But walked in today and his stuff's getting all packed up, and there's Nick Avila again. So I think he just hung out at the hotel yesterday, and he was like, yeah, if I'd flown coast to coast, I would be curled up in a ball of sleep right now in the corner. So he's back, and Snell, I presume, is going on paternity leave. So lots of back in the Bay Area, in fact. So lots of luck to him and his girlfriend Haley. Very exciting, their first baby.
Hey, congratulations to Blake Snell and his girlfriend. But as far as his outing goes yesterday, only lasted 3 1/3 inning. 87 pitches, only 45 strikes. Now, it sounds like he was working yesterday with a blister on his foot. Give us the breakdown on the overall performance of Blake Snell and the update on that blister that was bothering him.
Yeah, Blake was really did not want to mention the blister. He didn't want to look like he was making an excuse, but he kept saying, like, well, there are things that next start will be different. And we kept saying, like, what's going to be different? And I was like going, is it your mechanics? Did you spot something? Were you like, what's going to be different next start? And he finally went, okay. I had a blister it sounded like it was really bothering him from the second inning on. So I heard from some people on Twitter who were like, well, you should be able to pitch with that. It's not, you use your feet when you pitch too. It's not just your fingers, you think pitcher problem, but everybody's had a blister on their foot. It's certainly not going to help when you're throwing 95 miles an hour and trying to be pinpoint with your location. He definitely was not using it as an excuse. And there were a lot of good things that he liked, that Melvin liked. He felt like the ball was really coming well out of his hand for the first time. He was throwing pretty hard. The fastball was good. I think he got a little tired. He said he didn't. He looked a little tired toward the end. He's thrown a lot of pitches. That's the way he operates typically, but one of the reasons he wanted that second minor league outing was because he said his conditioning wasn't quite where he wanted it to be because he couldn't do anything with a groin strain for a couple of weeks. So I think he's only going to get better from here. And there were a lot of things to like despite the ultimate outcome. If Jelly comes in and gets a ground ball or something, we're not really talking about it like an outing that was a disappointment.
It's so funny. I know, Susan, you love the personalities and cracking the personalities, and sounds like Snell's rapidly becoming one of your favorites because it didn't even take you that long to break him down and give you the blister. You must have been laughing about that, huh?
Yeah, he's funny. Well, Alex Cobb obviously played with him in Tampa, and we were asking about him before he signed, and he said, well, he's a left-hander from Seattle, he's kind of exactly what you would expect, and people have dropped Lincecum a few times.
Yeah.
I do see some personality things. He's, a little bit goofy. He's fun, but he's very accountable. He's not just a goofy lefty from Seattle. He's a quality pitcher like Lincecum, and he's very, very accountable. He really did not want to make any excuses at all. He, like everybody, is waiting for him to really turn it on and do what he did last year. And remember, last year, what we think of as his Cy Young season was mostly that second half. It was from sort of mid-May on. So I think we will see much better from him.
Yeah, funny. And by the way, just a side note for you and me and our generation, I just had to, because he was talking blister, and I told young Tony, our producer, to rejoin with the Violent Femmes blister in the sun, and it caused a huge controversy on the show. Because I said, isn't one of the great feel-good party songs of all time, right? Everybody's happy, you're dancing, you're all jumping up and down. These kids gave double thumbs down. They were double thumbs down on the blister.
No, it was just the fact that Susan, he says, yeah, you must have heard this at all the college parties you went to. And I said, not the parties I was going to, Murph.
Yeah. Oh, the youth of today. What are we going to do with you?
Susan, you were at a college party and you danced to Blister in the Sun, correct?
Oh, 100%.
There you go.
Yeah,
All right.
it was on. I think it was kind of on repeat in the dorm too.
Exactly. Okay, one more from me about the pitching and today. So it's Eric Miller. So it's like a double-parted thing. Number one, like how do you see today playing out? And then number two, going into the future, what is that fifth spot in the rotation? Is this going to be bullpen now, or what do we got?
That's a superb question. I'm not sure we necessarily have any real answers to that. I think it's probably going to be bullpen at least a time or two here. The one kind of downer, I think, for the Giants is that Randy Rodriguez probably isn't available today after looking, he's just looked phenomenal. What a find. But Jelly will be available, all the kind of usual suspects. But I don't think we're going to see necessarily a long guy. I think it might be almost a traditional bullpen game today. I think we're going to see a lot of 1, maybe 2 inning stints today. And Eric Miller takes the ball. So here we go, off on a bullpen game. But they haven't really signaled what we might see from here. And roster-wise, they're getting a little squeezed with what they may or may not be able to do. So I'm not even going to hazard any guesses. I think they're probably looking around for possibilities.
Well, Susan, I'm glad you brought up the name Randy Rodriguez because I wanted to focus on the bullpen's performance last night. Last 5 innings of the game, 5 no-hit innings. Randy Rodriguez, 4 strikeouts in 2 innings pitched. What kind of role do you think he can carve out in this bullpen for the Giants?
Oh, I think, honestly, down the line he's a closer. He throws hard. He's got great stuff, really sensational stuff. And he, considering his lack of big league experience, he seems like he's really mature, doesn't get rattled. There's nothing not to like about Randy Rodriguez. I think he's eventually a closer, but he's also a guy who could go longer. I don't know if he's somebody they could think of as maybe being sort of a second guy in. If they want to keep doing a bullpen game and have him be sort of a long guy, he probably could do that. He's versatile. I mean, at this age with that stuff to be this versatile, this to me right now, Randy Rodriguez is one of the most exciting players on this roster for sure.
That's pretty awesome. And he's, a homegrown product. So people excited by his deal, and this is what happens in a baseball season. Susan Slusser is joining us here from Pittsburgh, 8:35 pregame, 9:35 first pitch. It's kind of funny we're talking about a bullpen game. Meanwhile, the Pirates are going with Paul Skenes, who's one of the hottest prospects in the entire game. And you're listening to KNBR AM and KNBR FM San Francisco, the sports leader, a Cumulus media station. And, of course, we've gone too far without asking about the kids. And that's, of course, the kids who your colleague Scott Oster called them the Pep Boys, Manny, Mo, and Jack, and Luis Matos, Elliot Ramos, and Marco Luciano. I'll kind of throw it out there. I mean, let's start with Matos. Marcus and I were asking, just about his progress, the fact that he's the guy with Jung Hoo Lee out. And then also, Susan, we were wondering why Melvin would bat him in the leadoff spot as opposed to Wade and vice versa. So sort of your Matos breakdown.
Well, I think that was last night might have been a factor with, a lefty on the mound, but it was a good combo. I liked it. So we're seeing it again today. Soler was there to kind of get a swing going. I think that might have worked. It looks like it's going. And yes, okay, if Matos is leading off the game, there aren't going to be guys on base, but there's going to be plenty later. He definitely gets the extra at bat. And he look at where he winds up hitting late in the game and what he winds up doing with 2 strikes and 2 outs in the ninth and turning everything around. So, however it worked, it seems like he's right in the middle of everything. You really can't go wrong wherever you put him. And same thing. Lamont was definitely hitting in the right place last night. Let's not make any bones about it. That was exactly where you want late night Lamont hitting. So. I don't think that before the game you draw it up like, okay, so he'll be coming up with 2 outs in the ninth, but things worked out really, really nicely, and we see that configuration again today.
Yeah, it played out perfectly with late night Luis and late night Lamont last night. And we had Lamont Wade Jr. on our show earlier today. Susan, yesterday, 3 knocks, of course, the game time RBI, also 3 walks. How well is he seeing the ball right now?
Yeah, it's the confidence. It's really interesting because this is what we saw all spring. And then he goes to Sacramento and really doesn't do very much of anything. And you think like, oh, well, this is just one of those guys that had a big spring and we might not see him again, especially, with Jung Hoo and the healthy outfield. And and when there's a need, he comes up and does exactly what he did. He is motivated at that. I'm not saying he wasn't at Sacramento, but, sometimes guys go down unexpectedly or after really doing something they feel like was deserving of a promotion. And, it's a bummer, and maybe they don't quite perform quite as well there. He has just run with it since coming back. And the confidence level, I'm going to say Elliot Ramos, same thing. His confidence level is as high as I've ever seen it in all ways. Defensively, too. Matos' defense is better. The positioning is better. I think they're really working hard on finding the best spots for him, especially now it looks like he'll be in center for a while. But Elliot looks really good in all areas. So those two, for me, again, and along with Randy Rodriguez, those three are really, really fun, really exciting. For all the disappointment over losing Jung-Hoo Lee for the rest of the season, these three, oh, man, so much fun.
Yeah, and I wanted to stick on Lamont Wade, especially with his ability to maybe go to the outfield to keep his bat in the lineup, because he leads Major League Baseball right now with the highest on-base percentage. But even in his splits, lefty-on-lefty matchup, he has a higher on-base percentage versus lefties. Now, I know it's a small sample size. He's only had 12 at-bats, but 4 hits and 5 walks this season. Susan, with the way he's drawing walks and getting on base, is it time for Bob Melvin to put him in the lineup each and every day, even against these lefties?
Well, I wrote a story about 2 or 3 weeks ago saying exactly that. His college coach said, this is crazy. He's always hit lefties. He should be out there every day. And he's played some against lefties. He gets left in sometimes when they go to a lefty reliever. He clearly can hit lefties. I think that's great. It's been pointed out to me several times that one of the reasons his numbers are so good is the way he's used. That's typically what teams that do sort of at least a semi-platoon will say. It's, hey, this is exactly the way we do this, and these are the results we get because of the platoon system. I'm not sure if you can say that with authority unless you really give a guy an opportunity to hit both ways, right? So I would like to see him more, but it's tough. It is tough to argue with the results that we're seeing right now. Maybe they are using him exactly right. I'd like to find out for sure, though.
For sure. We're talking to Susan Slusser just a few minutes before the Giants take on the Pirates. It's a series finale before they take off to New York. You're going to see Sean Manaea on Sunday. I see Harrison, Hicks, and Webb are slated to go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Susan, we can't let you go without some Matt Chapman talk. You've known him obviously forever. You covered him over in Oakland. So when you see him make plays like the one he did to end the game last night, you're like, yeah, duh. I've been watching that over there. So, but I mean, you know him. You know who he is. You know the kind of leader he's supposed to be. How frustrated he must have been by the start of the season. So I'd love the Susan Slusser, sort of psychological sketch of Matt Chapman. What have you observed, and how's his headspace this morning?
Well, he's a fiery guy, kind of. I mean, you might not necessarily know it to look at him, but he's a guy who really, he can, get the A, as they might say. Not quite the full word there, but he's hard on himself too. And when I talked to him a couple of weeks ago about, the poor start, he said, I put more pressure on myself than anyone in the world. And that's a surprising thing to hear somebody like him say, platinum gloves and, all-stars and all of that. But he really does. And I think he put too much pressure on himself. He gets off to a slow start. He desperately wanted to play in San Francisco. It was the only place he really wanted to come. He wanted to, he wants to play for Melvin. He wanted to be back in the Bay Area. All great things. But he gets off to a slow start, and then he really starts feeling the weight of the world, wanting to do so well for his new team that he wanted to play for so badly. Now we're seeing Matt Chapman. I mean, this is more him. He's always got a little strikeout in his game. That's going to happen. But defensively, the only time I almost even really notice now, because I've seen him make so many spectacular plays, is when he makes an error. That stuns me. He's had a couple this year where, what is going on? And I think that, more than anything, was indicative of how much pressure he was putting himself on. So this is Matt Chapman. And Melvin said it best the other day. He's like, this is who he is. He knows. I know anybody that's seen him play a lot. This is him. Hitting some homers, driving in a lot of runs, and just playing absolutely gorgeous defense.
Yeah, flashing the leather last night late in the game to close out that ball game, and then swinging one of the hottest bats in the Giants lineup right now. Again, he's in the Giants lineup today facing off against Paul Skenes, the top pitching prospect in baseball. Last question for me, Susan, is just your breakdown of Paul Skenes and whether or not you've seen Livy Dunn at the ballpark this morning.
I have not. So Paul Skenes went to the same high school as Matt Chapman and Nolan Arenado. Obviously, well behind them. I don't think that anybody those guys know him very well at all. But man, I want to get stock in that high school. What are they doing there? The stuff I went and talked to Joey Bart about Skenes yesterday. He's got some of his bullpens hasn't caught them in game yet, but he said it's as advertised. Just he throws hard. He is extremely mature, very smart. All of the pitches are great, but like the movement he gets on his secondary pitches is tremendous, and the command and control of everything is perfect. And like for a catcher, he is. And he said the same thing about Jared Jones. Just an absolute delight to catch because there are so many options. And if something's not working, you can go to a bunch of other things, and that's what makes a really takes like a good pitcher and turns them into a potentially great pitcher. And I think that's what we're seeing. So, and the Giants have got to see him. This will be very, very interesting.
More important from one ex-ball rider to one legendary ball rider. I see Saturday's start is a 1:40 first pitch in New York. Yeah, Susan. Yeah. You got Saturday night in New York City. Oh, yeah.
Saturday night in New York City. That is the dream. That is the dream.
Well, not only
That's
that,
what I was
Susan,
hoping when I saw Pittsburgh.
But not
New
only
York
that,
on
Susan.
The schedule last year, I was like, hey, come on, day game.
Sorry, I'd interrupt there, but the 7:10 Friday night start under the pitch clock, and New York being New York, you have Friday night too.
Hey now.
We'll see. I mean, I would normally say yeah, but we seem like we're in a sort of a extra innings part of the season for some reason. I'm never going to do. You remember, Murph, some of the longest games we ever saw were in New York, because anytime you make firm plans with a bunch of people, you're going to wind up with like a 3 or 4 hour game.
I just remember being really hungover in the Yankee Stadium press box. That's all I remember.
Shocking. Well, do you remember they had that little bar downstairs in the writer's workroom?
Yes, I do. Yeah, but the damage had been done the night before, and then the matinee, and then there was an unassisted triple play with Randy Velarde, and I was like, Mom, my head hurts. All right, guys.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, Susan, I am excited for your trip. I'm excited for today's game, and we sure do thank you for hopping on. Have a good one.
Yeah, thanks, Susan.
Thanks, us.
There she is, Susan Slusser. Yeah, when in baseball writing, like half of the joy is the sport, the other half is the road.
Yeah.
And the road is fun.
And Susan is a true pro because obviously she's not traveling with the team each and every road series.
Yeah, no, she picked.
But she saw Pittsburgh and New York on a schedule.
Oh, no, dude, when the schedule comes out, and next year's schedule's already out, isn't it, I think? Is next year's schedule? Oh, no, not yet. But they released them well in advance, and you can start planning which John Shea and Shayna Rubin start fighting like seagulls over the game.
Well, especially now with the balanced schedule, you have opportunity to go to different cities and different ballparks.
I'm glad you mentioned that, and that's something I should have mentioned to Susan. Well, we'll get you up with it because it's not a timely issue, but this is the Giants' third East Coast road trip, and this is because of this balanced schedule now. They didn't used to always play every team, and now the West Coast nature of the Giants and the Dodgers and the Padres and all that comes into play a lot more because they used to play more against your own division, so the travel's not as bad. I wonder, this is like this new balanced schedule is requiring a lot more travel from the West Coast teams, so I'm wondering if there's going to be a cumulative effect because 3 East Coast trips already. And it's only May 23rd.
True, but also on the other end of the argument, a lot of travel from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Yeah, not as much because there's more teams back there, right?
Yeah,
so you have to go
Good
back
point.
there more often. So they can kind of kill it off with maybe 1 or 2 trips where the Giants have to do 3 or 4. So anyway, I don't know. Yeah, listen, they're traveling on charters, but travel is travel. It is, and time zones are time zones. You know. So anyway, enjoyed it. What a day, my God. Livy Dunn still not cited. Maybe you'll have to look. I don't know. We'll see.
You got to stop those kids from storing the press box again.
Who told us that story? Justice De Los
That
Santos.
was Justice, yeah.
In where was it? Scranton or no? What was the AA city he was in? An hour and a half east of Pittsburgh. Anyway, it was pretty funny. All right, cooler. It says a crazy day. 8:35 pregame coming our way, and cooler of content coming our way. Heavy on the NBA, which we haven't even mentioned. The Mavericks doing their thing last night. Reggie Miller was chirping about Knicks fans. And, of course, this growing sense that inside the NBA on TNT may be coming to an end.
Sounds like it.
We haven't even talked about this that much. Too busy talking about freaking Randy Rodriguez.
Dirty Randy.
All right. Cooler content, and then Giants pregame at 8:35 on the Sports Leader.
Paul Skenes, my mom is single, bro. I need you.
San Jose, shout out to you for supporting KNBR, San Jose's sports leader.
Now, from the O'Donnell Financial Group Sports Desk. Learn more at odfigroup.com. O'Donnell Financial Group, because planning is a process, not a product.
Late night Lamont made an early morning appearance on the Murph and Marcus show after getting 3 base knocks and getting on base 3 more times. 6 times last night for Lamont Wade Jr. He talked all about it and, of course, the game-tying RBI in the 9th inning. To hear that podcast and more, check it out now on KNBR.com and the KNBR app. Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Thursday morning. It is Marcus the Waterboy Boucher here to talk about Prize Picks, because Prize Picks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 100 times my money this basketball season. And right now, during playoff time, it's the perfect time to join the Prize Pick community of over 5 million members who have already downloaded the app. All you need to do is select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and submit your lineup. Turn $10 into $1,000 with just 4 correct picks. And Tony, we got to be honest with the people. Yesterday we said Jared Jones, Blake Snell, a combined 12 strikeouts. They only got 11. But that's not stopping me from getting a few more pitching props this morning. And I got to say, I'm going with Paul Skenes. Over 7.5 strikeouts. Sounds like a high number. He had 11 in his last outing against the Chicago Cubs. So, hey, maybe go with me or maybe fade the Waterboy Boucher and take the under on Paul Skenes. All you need to do to get in on the action is download the app today and use the code word LEADER for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's promo code LEADER for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Tell them to bring me my money. Yeah!
And now, time for the Protect Your Assets with David Hollander Business and Technology Report. This is the Big Hit.
Sponsored by Benjamin Moore Paints. Experience the Benjamin Moore retail difference at their independently owned, authorized retailers today or at benjaminmoore.com.
On KNBR 104.5 FM and 680 AM, the sports leader.
All right, everyone, chill.
This is the cooler.
You're not sending me to the cooler
of content.
Sponsored by Mancini Sleep World. Sleep better, live better. Visit sleepworld.com. And by Marin Health. Marin Health Medical Center and Marin Health Medical Network world-class care. Closer than you think.
On the sports leader.
If you're a Radiohead, shout out Radiohead. Great band. You know the band Radiohead, Young Tone?
It sounds familiar, I think.
Okay. All right.
Add it to the list.
All right. Anyway, if you're a Radiohead, you'll just note what Tony just did. He just played the Cooler Open, followed by the Big Hit Open. He's trying to pull a fast one on us here.
That means it's a big cooler today.
Yes. Well, either way, we understand business is business, right? And you got to pay the bills to keep the lights on.
I understand.
People often ask me, they say, how are things at KNBR? I said, well, the lights are still on, I think. But no, we're doing great. Everybody's listening to the Giants. We're excited. I mean, my gosh.
And Murph, when we play double sponsors, that's how Daddy pays the bills.
That's what Daddy does to pay the bills. This is all very true. Very, very true. Okay, cooler of content. Heavy on hoops. Now, listen, we've been on baseball since the moment we opened the mics. And obviously, the 49ers are on our mind always. We talked to Leonard Floyd yesterday. So whatever Niners content we can get you. And oh, by the way, speaking of hoops, how about all NBA rookie first teamer Brandon Pajemski making his debut on the Murph and Marcus Show tomorrow, 9:30. What's up, Pods? Anything is podsable.
I'll have the sign on the cardboard. Or maybe should we go bed sheet? Anything is podsable.
I don't know why that didn't come off on shirts, sweatshirts, bumper stickers.
We got to talk to Raymond Ritter.
Car stickers.
There should be an anything is podsable night next year at Chase Center.
Yeah, a banner hanging off a Chase. You know what I mean?
You want to raise a banner for it, huh?
Yes, anything is podsable. Okay, basketball. How about, I was surprised Dallas won that game last night.
Yeah.
Have I been sleeping on the, you know who I've been sleeping on? Kyrie.
Kyrie's a baller.
I know.
And especially after Anthony Edwards called him out after their Game 7 victory.
I can't wait to get on him.
Kyrie showed up and balled out yesterday, especially in the first half.
Is this like Kyrie Irving 5.0? You know what I mean? How many different Kyrie Irvings have we seen through the years, dude?
Is this still flat earth Kyrie, or has he finally figured out that the world is a sphere?
I mean, the guy, we had Cavs Kyrie who destroyed our lives, right, in 2016. We had Celtics Kyrie, which was like disaster central. We had Brooklyn Nets Kyrie, which was like, wait a minute, weren't you guys supposed to be awesome? And now we got Dallas Mavericks Kyrie, who I thought was going to be, well, he's done now. I mean, this guy's like, he's skidded out all over the road. And now he's balling out.
And I hate to say it, playing with Luka actually makes him more likable. But going back to the original kind of destination for Kyrie going to Dallas, I was like, how's this going to work? Because Luka is a ball-heavy, dominant guard. So is Kyrie Irving. But here they are in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, and taking game one in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So let's jump on to the, is Kyrie a ring chaser? I don't know. Shaq and Draymond were on a big pod talking about ring chasing. So Shaq and Draymond on the big pod. What is a ring chaser?
If you have the opportunity to ring chase into your career, they need you, your play, your leadership. Would you do that?
If there's something that I could offer to a team and I'm like, oh, I'm the missing piece there, I can go help that team get over the hump. That's different than like, man, let me go see if I could just fall into one more. No, I want to be able to contribute. But the Warriors will have to not want me anymore. If I had to stay in Golden State another 5 years and we not make the playoffs for 5 years straight, I'm totally fine with that. Not because I'm not a competitor, but because I'd rather do it. I'd rather struggle with the same guys that I succeeded with. It ain't about, we struggling now, I need to go that way. Nah, the same way we succeeded together, I'd rather struggle together. As opposed to, oh, I can go over here and do this. As long as they'll have me, I got no reason to ever want to leave that place.
I mean, that sounds really nice, but I can imagine if they're struggling, it's not going to be that harmonious. You know what I mean?
Wait till LeBron James gives them a call over the summer.
No, seriously, right? I mean, is ring chasing unethical? Is it bad? You go join a winning team late in your career? I mean, truthfully, it's not that. I mean,
well, the question is, when do you do it in your career?
Yeah.
Because people kill Kevin Durant for ring chasing with the Dubs.
Yeah. And like LeBron to the Heat.
Yeah.
With Bosh. And that was the original, right? That was the original. And that's when all the old heads were like, bro, it's not how you do it. Jordan waited 7 years before he could finally get one, you know? Kobe, whatever, chipped away and won it 2 different ways with Shaq and then with Powell. But the point being is that, late in your career and they make you an offer, I don't think it's the worst thing in the history of the world.
Well, here's the question. Does Draymond Green have a playing career post-Warriors and post-Steph Curry? Because he said multiple times on his podcast, when Steph retires, he retires. He's not going to go back out there without Steph on the court.
I keep saying this whole thing about the next 2 years with Kerr, the next 2 years with Curry. It's like, that's all good and everything, but there is life after the next 2 years. What are we going to do? What's it going to be?
Oh,
we'll ask Brandon Pajemski tomorrow.
Yeah, and he's going to have to deal with Luka and Anthony Edwards, who are both under 25 years old. But I actually like this sentiment from Draymond Green. It's the feeling that I've had about this Dubs team. They've brought this city, this Bay Area, 4 championships. There's a high chance that they never win another ring.
Yes.
There's a high chance they never even make it back to the NBA Finals.
Yes.
But I got absolutely no problem watching these 3 guys, Steph, Clay, and Draymond, ride off into the sunset together. I think they've earned that privilege.
Yeah, I mean, that's all very romantic and good. And who knows what, again, we've been saying this for a month now. Who knows what Mike Dunleavy's got on the grease board? Who knows what move they're going to make? It's going to be very intriguing. Speaking of basketball, Reggie Miller in the news. He's on the Dan Patrick Show. And, the Pacers and Knicks just finished their series. TNT asked him to go do one game in Madison Square Garden, and the crowd was shouting, F you, Reggie. And Reggie's like, bro, it's been 30 years.
People don't forget, Murph.
And
People don't forget.
He told Dan Patrick, he's like, bro, we turn the page here.
The Pacers, your team, and then Halliburton wears a hoodie at the press conference with, you were part of it.
Can I just say something? People, I didn't play in the series, New Yorkers. Why are y'all dragging me? I didn't play in the series. How am I a part of all this? I came to do game 2 because that was asked of me. My boss has said, we want you during this game. We all have bosses, right, Theodore? I can't say no. Called the game down the middle. How am I dragged in to, I'm out there playing game 7?
Because it's New York, buddy. Because it's New York.
Welcome back to the Mecca.
Same way Boston says Bucky Blank and Dent 50 years later, right? I mean, certain things.
People still bring up Bill Buckner.
He should embrace it, really. He should be like, bring it on. Let's go.
Oh, if I'm Reggie.
Why didn't you stop me when I was scoring those 8 points in 8 seconds?
If I'm Reggie Miller, every time I walk into the Garden for the rest of my life, I'm giving him the choke sign.
Or you're doing who's the wrestling villain who's like, bring it on? Oh, it's The Rock, isn't it? Like, giving the ear thing? Yeah, he should be doing The Rock.
Hogan. Whoa, hey, brother.
Wait, help me out. The Rock was not a villain, and now he is?
Oh, so he was more of a baby face. I think we broke this down with Baby Huey. He was more like the face of the franchise, but there were times that he'd switch back and forth between being a baby face versus being a heel,
isn't he the
which
guy
he
who
is
did
right
the ear?
now.
Didn't he do the ear?
Well, Hulk Hogan really made it
Hulk?
famous.
Okay, that's Hulk. Okay. Was Hulk a heel?
Hulkamania.
Or was
he was a
hearing the
baby
love?
face, but then he also joined NWO and turned into
When he was
a heel
doing
for a
that with
little
the
bit.
ear, he was hearing love.
It's all part of the bit. They're back and forth. They're trying to keep the audience engaged. It's male soap operas, Murph. That's what it is. They got storylines.
Well, speaking of male soap operas, there's nothing better than Inside the NBA on TNT, which we've talked about, is now there's a chance TNT loses the NBA. In fact, we heard that story about John Tesh. He went on Dan Le Batard and said that NBC has contacted him to re-record Round Ball Rock. And he's got a Nashville orchestra reserved in late June. Like, NBC's ready to roll it out again.
Yeah.
So
and it's led to inside the NBA kind of riffing on their demise during these NBA postseason.
Other people who riff on their demise before it happens. So
we've been there before, huh?
Anyway, so this is what we're going to miss. Last night, Young Tone, the NBA on TNT crew with Shaq commenting on Chuck Barkley's rear end. Here.
I didn't know you had all that ass back there, Chuck. BBL Chuck. BBL Chuck. BBL Chucky.
I'm sorry. Sunday night football.
Bring gas.
Sunday night football on NBC ain't going to do that. NFL Today on CBS ain't going to do that. Fox on NFL ain't going to do that.
No.
MLB Network's not going to do that.
No chance.
Fox MLB Baseball ain't going to do that. There's only one show where you're just there to see the legends of the game riffing on Chuck's ass.
BBL Chuck.
There's only one show in the history of sports television that can pull this off.
I mean, Anthony Edwards did tell him to bring his ass to Minnesota.
Bring gas.
So good.
He's bringing that BBL.
I cannot believe we're going to live in a world without it. We need to talk about that more.
Yeah, well, they will have one more season next year. It's going to be like the swan song.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
So they'll have a farewell tour next year. But I need more of these BBL riffs. Shout out to our guy Metro Boomin, who was out in St. Louis yesterday for the reveal of the St. Louis Cardinals City Connect.
Is he the St. Louis?
Yeah, he reps the Lou.
By the way, I got to say, I kind of like him.
Yeah, and the New Jersey say the Lou on the front of him, and he had the entire crowd singing BBL Drizzy.
Get out of here.
I swear to God.
Get out of here. I got to say, I don't mind those hats, too, with the STL on it. I think those are kind of cool. I could definitely see Nelly wearing that every day now from here on out. This last one just made me laugh. O'Neal Cruz had a throwing error in the third inning yesterday. Listen to the ball sail over the first baseman's head and plug one of those boom mics that Darren Chan puts out there. Take a listen here.
Weekly hit bouncer. Cruz. Oh, my. Fires that one over Connor Joe's head.
That's even better than I thought it would say. I love the way the broadcaster's like, was that one over Connor Joe's head.
Oh, dude, the clank.
Give me the whole call. Listen to the way the broadcaster sort of undersells this whole thing. Take a listen again.
Weekly hit bouncer. Cruz. Oh, my. Fires that one over Connor Joe's head.
That's kind of like that was Euchre, just a bit outside.
Yeah, who does O'Neal Cruz think he is? Nick Ahmed?
Very funny. All right, good cooler at content or big hit cooler at content, as Tony would have it. All right, we're getting ready for Giants pregame at 8:35 on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the Sports Center.
I didn't know you had all that ass back there, Chuck. BBL Chuck.
Giants gamers, Murph and Marcus keep your morning moving on the sports leader and streaming live on KNBR.com and the KNBR app.
All right, you're telling me the entire crowd in St. Louis was singing this?
Oh, Murph, I just sent you the video. Okay. Metro booming, had the city of St. Louis booming with a little BBL drizzy yesterday.
All right, guys.
Shout out to Shaq and Chuck, BBL Chuck.
Hey, we have Sutter health situation right before.
Time now for your Giants Health Report, sponsored by Sutter Health.
Well, it is indeed time for the Sutter Health Report because we're about to start Giants pregame. And last night we saw Blake Snell get back on the bump. Only lasted 3 1/3 inning, dealt with a blister during last night's performance. But this morning, Susan Slusser told us he might be leaving the team again today.
Well, he has been sort of unsure about what the plans were for him. Who knows exactly if there was like an actual like this date then. But I know his girlfriend Haley is due basically this week. So I kept saying, like, wouldn't it make sense to just leave after the game, after you pitch? And he was like, I don't know what's going to happen. But walked in today, and his stuff's getting all packed up. And there's Nick Avila again. And Snell, I presume, is going on paternity leave. So lots of back in the Bay Area, in fact. So lots of luck to him and his girlfriend, Haley. Very exciting, their first baby.
Snell was scheduled to pitch Monday against the Philadelphia Phillies, but that might be pushed back now due to a paternity leave. And that Sutter Health update, of course, is brought to you from the doctors who never stop answering your questions, the cardiac specialty centers that never stop helping hearts. Sutter is more than 220 hospitals and clinics that never stop caring for Californians. SutterHealth.org.
I mean, Blake Snell's an ongoing carnival of news, whether he's working full counts and walking fools or hitting guys with bases loaded or going on the IL or throwing 87 pitches in an inning or then getting ready to pitch against the Phillies Monday, but then coming back for his baby. It's like it never ends with this guy.
Where in the world is Blake Snell?
And he's got this sort of easy charm to like that laid back, like she said, he's a lefty from Seattle, which shout out Jimi Hendrix, right? The ultimate lefty from Seattle. So I don't know. I mean, they're going to have a baby, and that's a blessed occasion, and then he might start Monday against the Phillies, or he might not. I don't know.
That's the questions right now with Blake Snell.
So, anyway, I will say this before we throw it to the pregame, which is 60 seconds away. How about the fact that the Giants are going with a bullpen game against Paul Skenes?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the dude. This is the guy. This is the prize, the golden goose of baseball, the #1 pick in the draft, who was in college just last year.
He was pitching in the College World Series last year for LSU. And Murph, I'm high on Paul Skenes. I drafted him in our KNBR Fantasy Baseball League. I've been holding him all season long. And since he's been called up, all he does is strike fools out. He's dirty, and they got to face off against him today.
So what are you going to do, lay a few down? Play small ball?
I think you got to work the count. Take some advice from Lamont Wade. Keep it short, keep it simple, and try to just put the ball in play.
How about just leaning into one? Wear one like the kid from Rudy Stein.
I'm
from
not
Bad
trying
News
to wear
Bears.
a 100-mile-per-hour
Giants
two-seamer.
Pirates next on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the Sports Center.
It's Win a Series Day here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as the Giants try to win 2 out of 3 against the Pirates. It won't be easy, though, as the Pirates send their rookie phenom Paul Skenes to the mound. All the 6'6", 21-year-old did last time out was throw 6 innings and no-hit ball against the Cubs, striking out 11. Giants will use Eric Miller as their opener, and then we'll see after that. I'm FP Santangelo alongside Joe Ritzo, and we got you today with all the action. The plan is a getaway day win and a happy flight to the Big Apple. The Giants pregame show starts right now.
Hey, everybody, it is May 23rd in Giants history. Let's have a lot of fun by going back 10 years to 2014, a World Series championship year. Of course, we'll be celebrating that later this summer. But on this day, the Giants were taking on the Minnesota Twins, of all teams. Not exactly a traditional rival, but this is what Interleague has brought us. And the Giants were hosting Minnesota. Got off to a fast start against Minnesota starting pitcher Kyle Gibson. Angel Pagan, remember him with the salute? Starts off the bottom of the first with a double, probably saluted somebody. Goes to third on a wild pitch, and then Hunter Pence, who we hear on the broadcast, reaches on an infield single Pagan had to hold. Buster Posey then hits a ground ball to third. Unfortunately, Pagan got caught up in a rundown, tagged out. So it looks like maybe the rally's dying a little bit, but Pence got all the way to third. Posey does go to second on the rundown. Next up is Pablo Sandoval, says, well, who needs to scratch out a run when you can do this?
And the pitch. And Sandoval, high drive to right. It is out of here. And it's 3-0 Giants. He's back. He hits it over the arcade in right field, and that's his 5th home run of the year.
Man, you can just hear that 2014 energy at the park. Big crowd, big sound. Dwayne Kuiper sounding great. Giants with a 3-0 lead. That was all Tim Lincecum would need. What's up, 55? He gets the win. Giants would go on to win that game 6-2 on May 23rd, 2014. Hey, before we go, one for my generation. May 23rd, 1979. There's some great names in here. Darrell Evans, number 41. 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs he could hit. Ed Halicki, one of the tallest pitchers in Giants history, at least until Sean Jelly came along. He went the distance. Giants beat the Cincinnati Reds 12-2. Reds were good. This is at Candlestick Park. Kids, ask your parents about Candlestick Park. Roger Metzger, a shortstop who was here a brief time, had 3 RBIs. That's unusual. And then you ready for 2 hit days from Jack Clark? Yes. Bill Madlock. Yeah, that's a great name. And, of course, Willie McCovey. That was all on May 23rd, 1979. Great ones. And the Giants beat the Reds 12-2. And this has been Brian Murphy with this date in Giants history. What a treat. It's always a treat when Marcus and I get to do the pregame, but never more a treat than following last night's game and the guy who was on that roller coaster, Bronco ride, whatever you want to call it, the speedboat up and down the Allegheny, is Joe Ritzo, who had a ton of fun calling those games. By the way, I just found out Joe Palo Alto High 2002. I just found that out from a listener who says, I was a classmate of Joe's. He was a great guy.
Yeah.
So there he is. With that kind of endorsement, Joe, good morning. And hey, Murph and Marcus, happy to have you, buddy.
Yeah, what's up, Joe?
Yeah, hi, guys. I appreciate the kind words. What a ride this series has been. I mean, both teams with a win, and I think both are probably sitting there going, it was our win of the year here to kick things off. So somebody's going to walk out of this ballpark this afternoon with a very satisfying series victory, and obviously the Giants hopeful that they can take some momentum into New York.
I want to talk about you for just a second because the art of the call. I was lucky enough to be in the car for the climactic moments, and I just got to tell you, I thought your calls were fantastic. I thought you had the right amount of description and excitement and emotion that captured the sort of the largeness of the moment. So for you, you know, baseball is a long, slow game with a lot of inaction. For you as a broadcaster, what's it like to train yourself to go from the in-between pitches to the raised-up climactic descriptive moments?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of practice, a lot of reps. I've been doing this a while, so you lean on your experience, certainly, and you do want to capture the moment. I mean, this is baseball, this is sports, this is entertainment, this is supposed to be fun, and especially when the Giants come up with a big hit or a big defensive play to end a ball game, as we saw yesterday. You just want to do your best to kind of bring that to life. And I got to say, I mean, last weekend, FP and I did the home series. We don't normally do the home games because they're covered, of course. And I almost had to pinch myself because you had the roar of the crowd finally backing some of our calls, which never happens in Pittsburgh or Miami or Cincinnati or wherever we are. So that was it was a real thrill for me because I had done a home series in a couple of years, and obviously the Giants played really well, and now we've gotten two just incredibly exciting games so far here in Pittsburgh. So I'm glad that's coming through, and we've certainly had our fair share of moments here this last week or so.
Yeah, and Joe, we were talking about maybe this being the win of the season so far, and of course the two guys responsible for it were Late Night Lamont and Late Night Luis Matos. How good have these two guys been at the top of this lineup for the Giants?
Yeah, maybe the Giants have found something with a 1-2 punch. I think Bob Melvin's kind of looking for that right spot for Luis Matos. You know, he was hitting at the bottom of the order when they first called him up. You take the pressure off, and then he starts driving in a bunch of runs, so you move him up to the 5-hole. We actually saw him hit third against a lefty here a couple of nights ago. And now hitting leadoff. I mean, the Giants are looking for that leadoff hitter with Jung-Hoo Lee out for the year. And with Luis, you know, he's going to put the ball in play. He did that yesterday in the 9th inning with the game on the line. And obviously a great base running play to be thinking second right out of the batter's box. You anticipate maybe a bobble out there in the outfield, and he took full advantage. And what an enormous play that was, a young player making something happen. And then Lamont Wade Jr., he's the guy you want up in the big moments. The on-base percentage we all know about, he's hitting close to 500 this year with runners in scoring position. Just seems to calm everything down in those biggest moments of the game, and he got a pitch that he could handle and did his thing, and what a great win. And Bob Melvin talked about it after the game, that you expend all that energy to come back from 5 runs down. It would have been really unfortunate then to not finish it off in the 10th. And obviously they got it done, and that is potentially a huge momentum-building victory.
All right, so much fun and so much good stuff to talk about. We'll finish it up with Joe Ritzo live from Pittsburgh. Morning Baseball next on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the Sports Leader. All right, back with Joe Ritzo. A few more minutes in the booth. Giants Pirates today at 9:35 a.m. On paper, Joe, Paul Skenes, Golden Goose, #1 pick in the draft. Giants bullpen game. On paper, not that psyched. How's it playing out there at the park?
Yeah, so the Giants, they're going to get their first look at Paul Skenes. Obviously, they've never seen him at the big league level, and none of the guys, the young guys, saw him in the minor leagues either. And we're all excited to see what the hype is all about. Of course, we don't have to stand in there and try and hit a 100-plus mile-an-hour fastball deep into a game. Plus, he takes something off with that splitter-sinker combo pitch that averages about 95. That has just big-time drop to it. So it's two just truly elite pitches that made him the #1 overall pick. He only made 12 starts in the minor leagues. I mean, this is kind of a Lincecum rise through the Pirates minor league system, where he barely had to show anything in the minor leagues in terms of experience down there. Proved that he was ready. And obviously the results speak for themselves here early in his big league career. So we'll see what the Giants can do. I mean, if they can drive the pitch count up. Look, the Pirates bullpen isn't in very good shape right now either after back-to-back extra inning games. So I think that might be the key here for the Giants offensively. And then on the other side, yeah, it's Eric Miller. It's an opener. It sounds like Mason Black will be the bulk guy today. And then after that, Randy Rodriguez, it does sound like he's available. It was 2 pretty quick innings for him last night. Obviously, he was really impressive. So Bob Melvin could go to him for an inning. He'd like to stay away from Camilo Doval after back-to-back days, but, Camilo's always ready to take the ball, and if it's a save chance in the 9th inning, wouldn't be surprised to see him out there. After that, Taylor Rogers, Luke Jackson, Avila's back. So there are some pieces, but it's going to fall mainly on Mason Black today for the Giants to hopefully get this game at least into the middle part, and then we'll see where they're at.
All right, Joe. Well, listen, we'll leave it at that. And after the last 2 nights, I need another blockbuster today, buddy. I need high drama. It's on you. All right.
We're gonna do our best. Make it a happy flight to New York.
All right, bro. Continue the great calls. Say hey to FP, and thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks.
All right,
Joe.
thanks, guys.
There he is, Joe Ritzo. And like I said, a listener said it. I didn't know Palo Alto High 2002. That's your rival. Right?
I had no idea that Joe was down on the peninsula.
Well, the cradle of champions, Jim Harbaugh, Joe Ritzo. That's what they do. Okay, guys. So it's a treat for us to do the Giants pregame show, and then we get to do the award-winning Diamond Notes. Is that what we get to do?
Award-winning, Murph.
They're coming up next on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the Sports Leader. All right, just a handful of times a year we get to do these pregame shows. We're delighted to be doing it. Murph and Marcus, Brian Murphy, Marcus Boucher. For all you Giants fans tuning in saying, who the hell are these guys? And so what do we have? We have Giants at Pirates today at 9:35 a.m. So, Marcus, let's start with the Diamond Notes and starting pitchers. Sponsored by Benjamin Moore Paints. Experience the Benjamin Moore retail difference at our independently owned authorized dealers today or at benjaminmoore.com. It's the guy we were just talking about, Paul Skenes. Struck out each of the first 7 batters he faced in his last start while not allowing a hit in 6 shutout innings for his first big league win. That was last Friday at Wrigley Field. Skenes became the first pitcher in Major League Baseball history to have a start where he struck out the first 7 batters or more and finished with 0 hits allowed. That surprises me, actually, that that's never happened. I mean, you're right. Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens, Kerry Wood, guys like that through the years, Mark Pryor, whatever. But so Skenes, who is, of course, the #1 draft pick out of LSU last year, and has his famous Instagram girlfriend, Livy Dunn.
And young Tony just checked in, said he checked the Instagram story of a Livy Dunn. Looks like she's at PNC Ballpark.
Well, she just says, "Let's go Bucks," and it's a flattering picture of her dressed in her Pirates hat. So if you're into that kind of thing,
watch out for Paul Skenes and Livy Dunn, the new Travis Kelce Taylor Swift.
By the way, first time Livy Dunn has made Diamond Notes.
Ooh,
all right.
That's why it's award winning.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Eric Miller. That's right. The Giants are going bullpen today. Eric Miller will make his second career start. That 5th spot in the rotation remains open. He last started May 1st at Boston, served as a Giants starter, but he went 1 inning, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. So overall this year, he struck out 28 in 22 innings with 14 walks.
Now, Murph, it's time to find out who's hot. Sponsored by Valley Heating, Cooling, Electrical, and Solar, locally and family owned for 62 years. And look, if we're talking about hot hitters on the Giants right now, look no further than Lamont Wade Jr., a.k.a. Late Night Lamont, or if you were listening earlier this morning, Early Morning Lamont Wade Jr., that podcast available on KNBR.com. But last night, Lamont Wade Jr. reached base in all 6 of his plate appearances, recording 3 singles and 3 walks. Lamont has now reached base safely via walk, hit, or hit by pitch in 20 of his last 21 games. And over that 21-game stretch, he's slashing .321, .506 with a .393 OPS.
All right, keys to the games next. Sponsored by Stevens Creek Infinity, where luxury is affordable. Visit StevensCreekInfinity.com for obtainable luxury without the high price tags. The key against Paul Skenes, put the ball in play. And in fact, the Giants have an extra base hit in 20 straight games entering today, dating back to May 1st. Tied with Metro Boomin St. Louis Cardinals for the longest active streak by a National League team.
And Murph, it's time to hit the lumber, sponsored by Dolan Lumber, Doors and Window, the #1 choice for Bay Area building industry professionals and homeowners since 1965. Visit DolanLumber.com. And you know who's been hitting the lumber? Matt Chapman. Went 1 for 3 with a home run last night, 2 RBIs. He's now 11 for 18. That's a .611 batting average with 10 runs scored, 5 doubles, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 5 walks, and has been hit by a pitch twice in his last 5 games. And Murph, ever since he changed his walk-up music to Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, he's hitting .370 over his last 12 games.
Great stat. And coming up, we still got player to bank on, X Factor, and the out-of-town scoreboard as Diamond Notes continue on KNBR, the sports leader. right, let's continue on with Diamond Notes Part 2. And the player to bank on is sponsored by Poppy Bank, located throughout California. Poppy Bank is here to help you hit your financial goals. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Player to bank on is the kid, Luis Matos, becoming the first player with back-to-back games of 5 or more RBIs since Eloy Jimenez did it in August of 2021. He also became the 4th Giant ever to achieve that feat. He did this last weekend, of course. And the first since Jack Clark, 1982. God. According to OptiStats, Matos is the youngest player in Major League Baseball history to have back-to-back 5 RBI games. RBI became an official stat in 1920 before the analytics guys made it an unofficial stat in 2002.
I like seeing RBIs from Luis Matos, like seeing from Matt Chapman, but how about see some RBIs today from our X Factor, sponsored by Casino Matrix. Casino Matrix, progressive jackpots are here. Where are you? Just drop in, 1-800-GAMBLE. And of course, our X Factor today is Elliot Ramos, who is 14 for 50 at the .280 batting average with 4 extra base hits, 3 doubles, and a home run, 8 RBIs, 4 walks in his last 13 games. He started the last 9 games in left field with Michael Conforto out of the lineup. We'll see if Elliot Ramos could be an X Factor in that 7th spot today.
And finally, my favorite, the out-of-town scoreboard, old school, brought to you by NorCal Toyota. Let's go places with the Toyota out-of-town scoreboard. Water boy. Mariners at Yankees, 9:35 a.m. Just in time, buddy. New York's gone 17-8 at the stadium, the new stadium, which looks like a Hotel W, and 34-17 overall this year. Yankees have the second-ranked team slugging percentage in the American League at .431. Once again, that's an early start. Another early start features the best team in baseball, the Philadelphia Phillies, hosting Bruce Bochy's Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
Phillies have won 5 in a row at home. They're 21-8 at home. They're 36-14 overall, the best start in franchise history. They rank 3rd in the National League with 58 total home runs, and that game again starts at 10:05 a.m. And one more for you, a little closer to home, your NL wild card 3rd spot holding Padres are at the Reds, where Cincinnati has a 10-14 record in home games, 20-29 overall, and the Reds, of course, have 12-4 record in games which they do. That's this random stat that John Joe put in here. Reds are 12-4 in games they didn't allow a homer in. I did not think I was going to say that this morning.
All right, good to know.
The game starts at 10 a.m. So those are the other 3 morning games other than the one you're about to hear. So it is time for Around the Park, Marcus.
Loves data.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun doing the pregame with you. Fun doing the show with you. Tony, Young Tone, John Joe. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And Around the Park is next as Giants pregame continues on KNBR 104.5 and 680, the Sports Leader.